Hello. How is everybody doing? So welcome to kind of the first thing we're doing here. This is show I'm calling Roll Together, and this is our first main thing we're doing, which is one of my biggest passions, Dungeons and Dragons. Um, we playing a game I've homebrewed, built, we're gonna call Heir of the Forsaken, as you can kind of see by the overlay and everything we've got going on now. But there's obviously more people here than just me, because I'm being joined by a bunch of people. If you've ever joined the stream before, you've met Austin. He's above me right now. He's playing Legend of Zelda right now. He's a good friend. He's been on a bunch of videos. And then I have a bunch of other streamers with me. We've got Roland Debard, or Debard, Ellie
Peppered.
Canary, yep. Raw Water War and Project Rich Tea. So if you guys just want to go one at a time, kind of talk about your channels, what you do, anything you want to talk about, really. Let's start with ladies first, and we'll just go Ellie, and we'll go around if you.
Oh goodness, yeah. So I'm El Canary or Ellie. It doesn't really matter. I am a newer streamer. I mainly stream Overwatch and D&D on Monday nights.
Fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. So go follow all these people.
Nice.
Also, I'll tell you how you can get their links very easily later on. Here in a little bit. Roland, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Roland Seberd. I will be. I do just variety streaming. I've been playing a lot of Titanfall lately, but and then I do Twitch Sings at night, and I do have a another indie game that I play on Wednesday nights.
Oh, okay. Go watch his singing. It's really good. Raw, do you want to go next? You're muted, I think.
Yeah, I am totally muted.
No, you're good.
I am Raw, Rod at War. I started streaming beginning of this year as a way to manage my mental health. Since then, the channel's grown. I've had a lot of fun with things. I've decided to, well, pursue streaming in a more serious sense. Very much a variety streamer with a focus on virtual reality, but a very long history of tabletop gaming. So looking forward to this.
Great. And then last, but certainly not least, we've got Project Rich Tea right over there.
I am Project Rich Tea. I am undoubtedly the youngest one here. I stream mostly Dead by Daylight and other kind of spooky games like Phasmophobia. And yeah, I've not been streaming for too long, only about a little over 2 months now. So yeah, that's my introduction.
Nice. So just to kind of go over just a few of the basic things, let me actually pull up my notes. If you want to get anyone's links, obviously you're seeing them under their names. It'll rotate. That's their Twitch channels. But also, if you're in the chat, if you're watching on VOD, links will be below. If you are not watching on VOD, you're watching right this second. You can just type in the chat !roll together. It'll pull up everyone's links. You can click those, follow them, do as you may, watch their stuff. They're all great people. The plan at the moment is we're going to be playing here every Tuesday at this time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7 p.m. British Standard, or for me, 1 p.m. Central. We're all different time zones, so there's a lot of different time zones to keep up with. But also, the schedule on this channel and also my social medias, I'll be updating if anything ever happens or changes or anything like that. Now I want to give a small warning to the people watching this. Over the course of the whole campaign, this is my own homebrew world. Been working on it for a little bit over 2 years now. It's a little bit based on mythology and different kinds of sense like that. I just want to give a small warning. It's its own mythology and history. There's a lot of familiar things through past mythologies, and this one will mainly focus on Norse, but there's also a little bit of Greek and Egyptian. But they're my own interpretation of them, and how they fit into my specific world. Just to be clear to everyone, including the players. So if something isn't exactly the way stories are told or things like that, there are reasons for it. Trust me, I've been building this for a while. As far as rules for D&D, we're playing 5th edition. I don't fully run rules as written all the time. We still follow the rules, but I use my own judgment, things like that, and I also homebrew stuff as well. So just to be clarify, if something isn't exactly how you see it in the player's handbook or any other books, my own doing so. You can ask if we were mistaken or anything like that. We could have easily been. I make mistakes all the time. We all make mistakes all the time. But we might be doing it on purpose. So just to let you know that. But we will make mistakes, misjudgments, things like that. But we're just trying to have fun. We want to make a good story. So just make sure you be kind to everyone. Things like that. So no one has anything else they want to get out of the way, say, or do? I think we could start.
No, I don't think so.
Perfect. And honestly, if people keep seeing me look this way, it's because I have my setup slightly over here, so I'm partially can see everyone over there. So, with that being the case, we'll get started. So, welcome to Heir of the Forsaken. This game starts on a world divided by many things. Long ago, gods from a place very far away arrived on a blossoming world, started to mold it as they saw fit. You might have heard of these entities, but as quickly as they set upon the world, fighting began among them for control of followers, territory, or just whims. This quickly turned into a conflict among mortals as well, and eventually an agreement was able to be reached between the many pantheons of gods that exist here now. They split the territories as they saw fit, building large obsidian obelisks at the borders, now nicknamed the Barrier. In the section that is now controlled by the Norse pantheon of gods lies 2 large continents with a large cold ocean in between. In the southern continent of Crayfall, there is a small coastal town named Grimskill, not too far from Hammerfall, and across the large bay from the capital of Fenrisleir. It makes most of its trade through fishing and transporting goods to Hammerfall as needed, but rumors have come lately that the Jarl of Grimskill has commissioned a few jobs, paying a decent amount of gold to whoever can take care of these problems the town seems to be having. This has been heard by your group, who has been traveling together for a few weeks, and has slowly started to run low on the coin that you guys have having, and curious at the prospect of a maybe higher than average paying job that the crew could seemingly be able to handle. You guys decided to head to Grimskill. Now, some of you know each other better than others, either from personal history, chance meetings, or because you got to know each other over the past few weeks. As your group is arriving into town in the very early afternoon, just kind of arriving, you see the bustling little port town next to the river and into the bay of Grimskill. Very simple, not anything. It's not a very small village, but it is not a huge city as some of you have seen before. But there seems to be quiet as now the winter months has started to fall and slight bits of snow start to fall from the sky as the winter months have just kind of started in this area, which means snow for this foreseeable future for the next few months. But you guys are casually kind of walking down the street, and we'll just one at a time just kind of describe your character, a little bit about you, what the rest of the group would know, things like that. Let's go opposite order this time. So we'll start with Project and describe your character.
I am Efla Agnerson. I am a half-elf. I am 42 years of age. I've been always my whole life just obsessed with music and stories and all sorts of folklore. And when I was young, I used to sneak out late at night to hear the stories being told at the nearby taverns, to hear all the happiness going about and all the music being played. And I picked up on that. I put all my energy into music and stories. I learned stories from other storytellers, and I'm just here for a bit of adventure to write a story of my own. to hopefully one day be told by other great bards.
Fantastic. So Ra, do you want to describe Artis for us?
Okay, Artis is actually quite young, at the tender age of 19. He's always disappearing. Quite often he'll be there with the rest of the group, just walking quietly. Next thing you know, he's not there. He's always sticking his nose into something, constantly curious. You'll often in town find him in the library or at the Lawmaster's Hall, as well as harassing other bards that he finds in taverns, such as how we've met Efla. Basically picking his brain for stories and portraying some of his own historical facts, because he doesn't entirely trust the words of a bard. He's a really big history buff, very slender but wiry, incredibly agile but also highly intelligent. He's on the search to find a particular lost city. He doesn't talk much about it, but it's something that's constantly on his mind. And when he finds that place, he will be going down in history along with anyone who's come along with him.
Perfect. Austin, do you want to describe your fantastic character?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I guess the best way to start is Luthgraw Devonmore, also known as Luthgraw the Walrus. It makes sense, I promise. He's a beast-hide shifter, so that's sort of interesting. He's 27, so he's young for normal humans. For beast hides, he's almost middle-aged, I guess. If you want to do math that I don't want to do, you can. He's a barbarian. He's a pretty big guy. He's got a problem with food, so he's not exactly toned, but he doesn't look skinny or weak by any means. Yeah, he's just sort of trying to get stronger after a loss to a rival he had, and he had met up with Gubrand and Olive a while back, and then he found Artis and thought he was neat, and then somehow Efla came along. He's not sure how. But yeah, he's just here for some fun.
Awesome. Roland, do you want to describe Gunbrand for us?
It's Gudbrand.
Gudbrand.
Gudbrand Odinson. My friends call me Good, but I don't have a lot of friends. So, not a lot of people call me. He's 47 years old, and he's just a big old Viking. He was his parents. His father was a Viking raider, and his mother was the town priestess and healer, and so he learned a bit of both from each. In his younger days, he went raiding with Olive's father and saved his life a few times, and they've been inseparable since then, much to the court's dismay. They don't really like Gudbrand too much. And he has basically been sent along with Olive as, they never admit this, but de facto babysitter. Something that he's a little, like, it's an honor to serve the kingdom and the princess, but, he knows he's been sent away, so.
Perfect. And then last, but certainly not least, you want to describe your character?
Great.
Mary?
So Live, or as some people call her, Olive, it is a very fond way to refer to her. Her father calls her Olive. He's her little peace tree. There's a few things you would notice as soon as you meet her. First would be her flaming red hair that is inhuman, so to say. Some people would say when the wind blows through it, it looks like a live flame. The second thing you would notice is that if you are graced with her voice, She switches between accents. She does not have the accent that is normal for that part of the country that she grew up. And that is because she was raised and given so many different people to raise her and help raise her. She is a princess. She is the princess of Creefall. She decided that she wanted to follow in her father's footsteps and become a warrior instead of being a healer that is a little bit more traditional for a woman or a princess.
Awesome. So as you guys are all kind of coming in as a group, as you know, the few weeks have been a little hard as it's getting colder and colder, but getting closer and closer to the coast, it does get warmer. But there's still a light bit of snowfall as the winter months have started. You do know, by just hearing things and knowing certain people do know these things, is that for looking for these jobs, you do need to go to the law office and talk to the people there. They can give you those sorts of things. They're commissioned by the Jarl himself, but there's also need for lodging at some point, if depending on when you're doing these jobs, if they're multi-day or anything like that. So it's kind of up to the group how you guys want to tackle this. So does anybody want anything to do in particular?
I'd like to investigate the job boards and just get a rough idea of what sort of work's available, so that way we can have a chat and work out what we want to do next.
Perfect. So assuming you go check those out, you go to the law offices, and there is basically what is like a job board. You know, it's not as well put together, and there does seem to be more things than usual at particular towns. There's usually only one or two things, and sometimes they're even very simple things like woodwork and things like that. And looking, there are a few jobs like that, like helping build things, or even just simple construction and things like that. But you notice a few stranger particular jobs that pay a bit more, that maybe where these rumors had started. The three ones that you see that seemingly are from, and seem to be specifically commissioned from the Jarl himself. One seems to describe a storage building that's been under construction near the docks, that seemingly a few people have gone missing while working on it over the past week, and now workers are just saying it's not safe and refusing to work. So the Jarl is asking for someone to see what the problem is, maybe find these missing people, and there is pay involved, obviously. There's another one where it seems as though fishermen have been getting attacked a little bit into the bay. There seems to be a few jobs for people just looking for protection while they're doing their own fishing and things like that. But the Jarl is also commissioned finding out what this issue is and taking care of it once and for all. And then the last seems to be a little stranger. The Jarl has gotten word that there have been some people hearing strange things up in the northern district. People have been swearing they're seeing a figure in the shadows that have been watching them, and people are starting to refuse leave their homes at night, and the Jarl is getting enough worried to pay people to go see if this is a particular thing or some kind of rumor that has been going out. Those are the three main things. There are a few little odd jobs that the group could undertake if they want to, but the pay is not really going to be that great in comparison to work that some of you have done before. But Artis, you go and find these things and kind of relay it to the group as I just described.
It's all in my notebook that I always carry.
All right. Yeah, you pull out your notebook and you have the bits of paper, because they're, people will take the paper off the notice board, so there are multiple copies of it, and you've taken each one and you've kind of put them in your notebook and written some things.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
No, go ahead. So assuming Luthgraw is fine with whatever you guys do, you guys can discuss which one you're more interested in. You could maybe look for a tavern and discuss it there, or whatever you guys want to do.
So, the storage construction sounds quite interesting down by the docks. Missing people could be a big issue.
Well, one thing that I noticed when I was at the message board was not just this particular job by the docks, but also a general issue in the bay. I mean, there's some individual protection jobs for people that want protection while they're fishing. And yet there's also this one here from the Jarl, which is a formalized one to sort out what's attacking the fishermen in the bay. So it looks like there might be a larger issue down there, rather than just a small task.
The fishermen are very important for our economy. We should help them.
Plus, they give us fish.
They provide us sustenance.
I
Provide us
agree.
Fish.
Yeah, hunting's
Fish is
pretty thin
sustenance
in
for
the
us.
winter months, so fishing is going to be the main staple of food, so it is something that's important to all of us.
So, do we think we should deal with the fishermen first? See what's up with them. I mean, the issues could be linked. We're not sure yet.
Well, potentially we could start on land and investigate what's going on in the storage buildings down by the docks, which will put us in proximity anyway. If something does happen in the bay immediately, we'll at least be somewhat present, and we can look further into what's happening with these disappearing people. They could be completely unrelated, but then again, we may kill two birds with one stone and get a nice big meal.
I like the sound of that. What if they'll give us fish? That'd be nice.
Always
Nothing
food
beats a good
with
fish
lot.
meal.
It's true. A lot of ways to eat
Food
it.
gives us the energy. So to the docks then. Good Brand, are you okay with this?
Whatever the princess decides.
To the docks it is.
So heading
To the
over
docks
to the
it is.
docks, it doesn't take too long, luckily. The docks do cover a decent amount of the shoreline for the town, as it is one of their main economical resources and things like that. And, you know, coastal cities in at this continent as well are pretty large, as the ocean and the sea is a cultural standpoint, but also be one of their big economic boons and things like that, like for fishing and other things like that. So it doesn't take long to find the docks, but the docks are pretty big. But looking at the actual work orders and stuff, you realize that it is a more central location. It looks like they have been building a larger storage facility for certain goods and things like that, kind of more in the middle dock area. So you start heading there. If there's anything you guys want to do along the way, you can let me know. But assuming you guys just head down to where that storage facility is, the docks are more bustling than the town. As it is midday, there are many ships inside each of the marina spaces that are loading, unloading. Some are decently large size for big, large crews. A lot are a lot smaller fishing vessels and things like that that seemingly go out constantly a few times a day to do these fishing expeditions and things like that. So you see larger crews moving out large crates and other things like that, but you also see these smaller crews pulling out barrels of fish and things like that. Doesn't smell amazing, but luckily, as quickly as the smell comes in, it does go away. And after about close to an hour of finding your way across these docks, you do see a larger storage facility looking building that seems to be what your destination for this particular job entails.
As we're going through, I just want to kind of keep an eye out, just like the general like state of the people around.
Okay.
Like, do they seem fearful? Do they seem like they're going about their day? Like, I just kind of get a general sense of like the demeanor
Okay.
and the mood.
How about you roll an insight check for me, just to see how much information you glean, from just kind of the general mood of things. Oh, an 18. That's very good. You do see that for the larger crews and stuff, you know, you haven't been around worker docks too much recently. You have in your past, but the bigger crews don't seem to look like they're having any issues. They seem to be tired from being on the seas and hauling these things and things like that, but that generally is a normal thing. But you notice the smaller crews, the smaller fishing boats, there does seem to be a slight, like, general worry. It's almost as if, like, no one is saying anything, but people were like, should we be going back out there or not? Some seem to not care, but a lot seem to be a little more on the worried side, and with that is good enough to notice that there are more bosuns and stuff that are fixing these smaller vessels. You see, like, small chunks and things that looks like they've been almost ripped out that bosuns are, like, repairing with wood and things like that. So you do notice there's just a general uneasiness, especially with the smaller vessel boats, as you continue.
Random question.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together for several weeks now. What are we calling ourselves?
The Jimmies.
The Jimmies.
Sorry, that's my other D&D campaign's
We are just
name.
the
and it's great.
princess's retinue.
The princesses.
Retinue. Her group.
Retinue.
We are just here to protect her.
I'd rather not call attention to the fact we have a princess with us.
That
especially
could
if
bring
we're
issues
going
in the
outside
future.
of town.
Or we emphasize it to increase that chance.
Ugh. We use
Depending
it.
on the situation.
Yes.
Group of princesses princessing around with
The princess group.
That's a good one.
Super soft group.
Do not attack us, please.
We are all
Pardon me while I
princesses.
exfoliate.
My
We
daddy will
are
get
all
super
professional.
mad if you attack us.
My father will hear about this.
Yeah.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I don't know. That is the last thing that Ben would have thought about.
Yeah. I'll say you guys have had a couple discussions over the last couple weeks, but there hasn't seemed to have been a consensus. As
A lot of names being thrown about.
yeah, a lot of names being thrown about, but none of them seeming to stick at the moment.
Most of
Maybe
them coming from the
something-
bar.
I think,
Yeah, and you know, perhaps it'll come out naturally soon or not. My other group has not figured out a name. They've called themselves 3 separate names and never used them again.
Well, that's because they've all died or
Well-
left.
Not all died. It doesn't matter.
As a princess, I would be someone who would know a lot about the land, perhaps. Would I be aware of what is going on necessarily?
I would say no, because the things that are happening are more recent event.
Gotcha.
Or they all seem to be recent events. You haven't heard of anything in the past of
Okay.
this sort of nature.
Great.
I will say
Well,
you know a little bit enough to know that, you know, this is a decent enough sized town. It should have a town guard, and it might even have a warrior guild.
Mhm.
That should be doing things like this, but maybe they're either busy or something's going on or unavailable in some sort of way.
Okay.
But
Speaking to the bard,
Scald, what tales have you heard of this area?
I've talked.
Monsters or myths?
There's not really many stories from individual towns. They typically come from battles or people themselves. I unfortunately do not know much about this place. My father was a fisherman. That's about the extent of my knowledge on fishing.
They didn't tell any
don't-
tales?
Not that I'm aware of.
yeah, not
What
that
about
he's
recipes?
It's worth a shot.
I know good fish
Ephla.
recipes.
Alright,
I can prepare a mean fish, but
see, told you he was worth keeping around.
You're good with people, aren't you, Ephla?
I would say so. I like to consider myself good with people.
Could you maybe see if there's a new merchant company in town, or perhaps a rivalry with another village nearby, a dispute over fishing boundaries?
I could certainly try. Does there appear to be any? I wouldn't assume there's anyone directly in charge of the area, but does anyone look like they're just kind of standing about the place overseeing things?
Not at the moment. Not that there's someone in charge of the entire docks, but you do see a couple groups, either some of bigger crews and some of smaller crews, that are either just standing around. Maybe they're the captain of their boats, or maybe they're overseeing something, or even just taking a break. But there are a couple people you could come up to. So, is there is there a particular kind of person you were looking for, or just anyone you could get your hands on?
I'd say probably anyone I can get my hands on. I don't think there's anyone I would really single out at this point.
There's a couple.
Anyone who looks like they're not busy, you would never disturb a busy fisherman.
Okay. There's what looks like a slightly older lady, probably also in her 40s, that is just kind of looks like she's sitting on a barrel at the moment near a smaller fishing boat that you kind of walk up to. And she just you kind of approach her, she kind of looks you up and down, and she's like, "Well, you want something?"
Yes, my friends and I, we're new to the area, and we see there's lots and lots of work going on around here, a lot of boats coming in and out, and there does seem to be a general sense of unease about this area. Is there anything going on? Is there perhaps merchants? Any big issues going on?
Kind of squints her eyes a little, and she's like, "Merchants? Not that I've heard. People are a little scared, I guess I would say. A few boats have not been coming back, and a few people have not been coming back either. And a few people have come back and not really said much about what happened."
That seems rather bizarre.
It is.
Is there any idea what could be causing this?
Not that I have heard of, unfortunately. I mean, if I knew, maybe I wouldn't be out there.
That's fair enough. Well, could you point us towards anyone who may know what's going on, who may know more?
She's been crouching mostly this entire time. She kind of looks more up and looks around, and she goes, who would know? And then she goes and she points kind of farther down the dock, and you see what looks like a strange individual. It looks like a teal-colored tiefling that is just kind of slightly pacing back and forth near one of the docks. And she goes, "He's always sticking his nose around in things that are none of his business. He might know."
Sounds like just my type. Thank you for your help. And with that, I shall depart and inform my friends about said tiefling, who I do not know the name of, and guide them in that direction. Sure. I believe that tiefling over there may know more. I don't know, but that's what the lady told me, so it's the only lead we have at the moment.
Tiefling or teal thing?
A teal fling.
That definitely gets a little chuckle out of Olive.
Makes sense. Do you all want to approach? Do you want the bard to approach again?
I have a plan.
No.
Oh, you have a plan?
I do. All right.
Okay.
We need him. We don't know who he is. but we know he's blue.
You do.
So yeah, I'm just gonna yell "Oi, blue
start.
boy!" just at the top of my lungs.
You see, you yell at the top of your lungs, and some crew members do not bat an eye. Some people wandering around the dots just almost stop in place and just kind of turn and look at the very large individual who just is screaming, "Hey, blue boy!" And you see the tiefling, who at this point had their back to you, stop, turn around, squint his eyes a little bit, and then he just crosses his arms and stands there for a minute looking at the group.
Mirror.
He stands there for a good 20 seconds before he starts slowly walking towards the group.
Perfect.
And as he kind of arrives at the group, he stops and he just goes, "What are you yelling about?"
What am I yelling about?
We just have some questions. Nothing serious. We're just we're new to the area. We kind of wanted to have a chat.
I could tell.
What's going?
I could tell.
Apologies for my friend here. We're not all like that.
It was effective, wasn't it?
Some of us are.
So what were you looking for then? To yell out
Well,
by skin color from across?
again, apologies for my friend. We heard stories of boats not coming back from going out, and as we looked around, we could see there was kind of unease. A lot of people seem very nervous about the waters at the moment. We saw the job posted on the work board. Do you know anything about
You
this?
saw that. Yeah, I heard the Jarl was doing something like that. Yeah, people are scared. Water's scary anyway. And now there's something out there attacking fishermen out of the blue. It's a scary place. Have you ever been out on a fishing boat? It's scary anyway. And let alone
I have.
something doing something. People are unsure. I've heard a couple rumors, but none of them have been founded. There's only been, I think, 2 individuals who have made it back supposedly alive. One was found on an ice drift, and the other was found on a plank of wood. And they have been not speaking.
Where are they now?
I think one is... I actually don't know where one of them is. The other one, I think, was at a temple for a bit, but I don't know if he's still there.
What temple?
He kind of goes, don't remember what they worship, but it's like a bit off of the dock if you go, and he points to a particular direction, and slightly gives you directions. They're not extremely detailed, but it's a general direction of where it would be. He goes, people are saying it's some kind of thing, or people rumor a lot of things. People saying it's the gods punishing us for fishing too much. People say it's a large snake in the water. It's crazy. People are talking about people with spears fishing the boat themselves, treating us like their own fish. They're all rumors.
It's rather vicious.
Seems like
all right.
it. I mean, the
Sounds
people who
messy.
came back seemed hurt.
The gods would not punish us for eating.
I very much agree. The gods are brilliant. They would never do such horrific things to these people.
They are
they're
brilliant,
eating
aren't
people.
they?
They
Gudrun
really
just
are.
chuckles.
Yes. Well, that's pretty much what I know, unfortunately. But if you're looking to take that and try to figure it out, hey, may those wonderful gods be with you, I guess. I have
They
stuff to
always
do.
are.
I have stuff to do. And he just quickly turns and walks off.
I kind of stop him before he fully walks off and I go, thank you for the help, but what is your name?
My name. You could just call me Saza. That's what most people call me.
Zaza.
Yeah.
We appreciate the assistance.
Perfect.
Can I? He's lying about his name.
I mean, you could insight check him.
All right.
14. Seems as though people call him Saza. I mean, you're unsure if that's his actual name, if that's a nickname, or well, you know, that seemingly is what people call him too. It didn't seem like he was lying.
Gotcha.
But either way, that seemingly is the information. I'll even say, if you wanted to ask one or two other people, you hear similar kind of rumors, but not really anything definitive. It seems as though most people have been attacked, have either gone missing or have died. So it's up to you if you're still wanting to try to pursue that, maybe find one of these vessels, or to continue to the storage facility.
I was gonna say, has anyone mentioned anything about the storage building at all?
I'll say you hadn't gotten
Oh,
close
wait,
enough yet. If you wanted to
discussing-
ask nearby, or any of the maybe any of the workers that work there, you might get something. But I would say those few people that you talked to weren't near enough to the storage facility to really know much. A couple people know it's being built, but not really anything that's gone on recently.
Is it on the water, the storage facility, or is it
It's
just
fairly
further?
close. It is not exactly on the water. It's not like boats could pull up to it, but it is
Okay.
like maybe 15-ish feet from the coast. It's for shipments that are coming in and not necessarily ready to be sent out on caravans or something like that yet. It's more or to be held for a reason. And it seems as though they're expanding in some sort of way.
Is it a distribution center or a customs house?
A little both. At the moment, right now they're not two separate entities because it's not a big enough town. But maybe eventually there will be a separate one for more customs focused things. But the town is mainly in the center of the continent, so they don't really get anything from out the other continents in. Those are kind of the more coastal cities on the edge. So most of the things that Grimskill receives is from either one of the coastal cities on Crayfall or up in Arngrad. So that is basically what it supposedly is for, from what you guys have seen.
Do we just keep going, full steam ahead?
Well, how far apart is the bay where the people have gone missing in the storage house?
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah,
a good
talking
question.
to people, the bay is, you guys are on the coast of the bay. What people are describing when they're going fishing is most people fish closer to the middle of the bay, so they actually go out a decent amount to fish. And those are apparently where those attacks are going. So you would have, it's not like it's happening in the marina. It's
Okay,
people who are
so
out on the expedition. So if you wanted to go help with that, you would probably have to find a boat that would be taking you out there. And that's why people are asking for protection, because, you know, out that far,
Okay.
it's only what you have. And
Okay.
Maybe we go to the shed and then figure out the boat situation. Double
we've
back.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, we figure out why people go missing. Maybe people will be more take us to the bay feeling.
it's up
Or
to
the temple could be another option, as that person who was recovered was sent back there, whether they're still there or not.
Hmm.
It's true. They weren't talking though.
We can always make multiple stops. We don't have to commit ourselves to only one location. We have plenty of time, you know. We can look around, we can explore different areas.
So far, from the looks of things, it's not like there's another group looking to solve this right now. So it's not like you're batting up
Oh,
against
time on
something.
Yeah,
but
we're not in hot competition at the moment.
yeah,
Shed first, then see the non-talker. And
I am happy with that.
And
Confront
then
them with evidence
yes.
of their wrongdoing.
Okay. So you finish the rest of that journey there with the stopping and talking. Takes over a little hour and a half from when you guys arrived in the or when you got the job to arrive at the warehouse. You see there are a few people that are moving things in and out. But from the looks of things, the size of the building, because it is a pretty sizable building, there is not that many people here. Perhaps of the reasons that you read about, that people are just not wanting to work with the possibility of going missing. But there seem to be a few people who either don't care or need money and are working anyway. And kind of chatting with a few of them, they point you in a very particular direction to basically the head honcho of the facility, which seems to be a half-orcan woman who is at this moment. She's pretty muscly. She seems to have a few scars and a few different things. She's wearing just kind of a simple work cloak and work pants with kind of a small like half apron with a few different parchments and things inside, probably orders and things like that. But you guys start to approach her as she's looking through past a few of the crates in the facility. And she kind of turns around and she's like, "You all are a strange bunch to be walking in here like this."
We're new to the area. We're just we're looking. We saw the job board, saw the tales of the injured
It's about
sailors,
time.
the missing sailors.
It is about time. Okay, that makes sense then. So you're here, gonna help us try to figure out what's been going on, which is
That
fantastic.
would be nice.
Here, I'll come. And she just kind of starts walking, and she goes, just follow me. Just follow me. And as you guys start walking, you see, it's a pretty sizable facility, but it's almost like a maze with how much stacks of crates and barrels and things are kind of sitting about. And she kind of goes, "We've been building a kind of underground basement facility for our for kind of longer term storage, things that need to be stored for a longer time, either from the city or from seas. Either something needed to be inspected, things like that, things that aren't coming in and immediately leaving. And it's been worked on for a few months. We've excavated out the bottom pretty much most of the way. We've started putting in flooring and supports and things like that, so she points at the ground and she goes, "So this doesn't collapse." But past couple days, I've had a few workers not showing up to work, and then a few more didn't show up. I had people go look for them. They couldn't find them at their homes and things like that. Said the last time they saw them was here. I had a few people go check down below. Hadn't seen them since. I walked down there, and it seemed cold and dark, and I decided I would probably let the guard try to take care of it than risk my own hide down there. Those days are behind me. I'm not doing that again. And so now you guys are here, assuming for probably the money.
Well, I like to help the people, but the money is the icing on the cake, so to say.
Both the money and people.
Money,
We
people,
must
and cake.
feed this one.
Knowledge.
Points over at the walrus.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
You would need a sizable amount for that, man.
Yeah.
Either way, I can come show you where that is. She kind of continues you guys through this like maze of different crates and things like that, and she kind of points at what looks like a pretty freshly built staircase, kind of going downwards, what looks like under to where there would be some sort of basement area. and you kind of feel a slight chill breeze come from it. Not like there's wind coming from it, but just like a chill through the air as you guys kind of see the top of the stairs.
While you were digging this out, did you happen to find anything unusual? Maybe a small statue or a tablet or some sort of evidence that shows that there was something here before?
Go away sign. You know, dead people.
No, none of those things ring a bell. I probably remember things like that. I think it was just a lot of rock.
Go away rock,
Okay.
maybe.
If you could tell me what a go-away rock is, I will certainly look
This
for
is a
one.
rock. You get a rock, and you write "go away" on it, and then you put it on stuff. And
You know
it
what?
says,
I
"Go
didn't
away."
inspect every single rock, but I would be certain if I saw one, I would have seen it. I would have known about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The go-away rocks are typically rather obvious.
Yeah, see, he knows what they are.
I will make sure. Keep an eye out for it from now on.
Yeah, because you got creepy stairs.
Has there been any new hires or anyone seems to have a particular interest?
I mean, we've had a
In the
few
basement?
newer people during the construction process, but none that I would say is suspicious or have been a problem. And only one of them have gone missing. So
Was
I don't
he a
know.
particularly spooky individual?
I mean, define. I guess I would say define what you mean by that.
I don't know. Spooky. Just spookable.
Morbid, macabre, looks like a closet necromancer.
Can't say either of them look like that.
Did he have a particularly evil name?
Was he a vegetarian?
I didn't ask his diet habit, and I don't think
Or-
his mane was very spooky.
Probably not.
Well, you gotta start somewhere.
It is true. Honestly,
So
these are
the-
questions I would never think you would ask.
So the disappearances, are they happening during the day, mornings, evenings?
We're not sure. They supposedly, from what I've been talking to people the last few days, is one day a couple of them came into work. Then I thought they had left. Then a couple more came into work, thought they had left, and then the one or two people I sent down there didn't come up. So
I'm gonna poker.
They disappeared in the basement.
from what I know, yes. You
Just like
poker
on the forehead. Yeah,
on the forehead.
yeah.
You fit?
Make a dexterity check, just a flat dexterity check, because I just want to see. Oh, yeah. 21, natural 20. Yeah.
Oh, natural 20
she-
poke.
She instinctively sees you move your finger towards her forehead, and she instinctively puts her head backwards, but then you see her doing that and adjust and just boop. She just kind
All
of
right, she's real.
just does this and she goes,
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know that was in question, but thank you for confirming.
Now we know for sure.
Exactly. Now we know you're not a ghost.
If the problem is in the basement, let's go to the basement.
As this is
Yes.
going on,
I agree with that.
As this is going on, can I? We're inside now, correct?
You're inside the facility,
Great.
big
Can-
building.
I want to step out and call my lovely owl that my father
Ow.
gave me that is also following around, and
Yeah.
write a quick note to my father asking if he knows anything about missing people or what could be happening if anyone has let him know,
Okay.
and send my nice snowy owl messenger
Yeah,
to
so
him.
he.
Yeah.
You do that as you've done multiple times before, and then he starts flying. What looks like he's following the coast and kind of slightly going across the bay, but following the coast is. It will be a bit of time, but
Of course.
But yeah, he's been trained to know where you are at for some strange reason, and he will be back when he does get back. But yeah, you do that as some of this conversation is coming on, so you come on as the foreman is kind of looking at her hand and contemplating her own existence for some strange reason.
Did you hurt yourself?
No, I just didn't believe that I could not be real until someone asked me if I was real.
Can't be too careful.
Existential crisis. But tell me, can us
Above my
real
pay grade.
people have access to the site after hours so we can conduct a thorough investigation without interfering with anyone's work?
Sure, if you want to. That's up to you. I can have someone I can give you a key. But we keep an inventory. I don't want anyone taking anything.
We will
Question our honor.
keep our distance.
All right.
How do we keep our distance and investigate? Those two things don't line up.
Keep our distance by coming back in the evening when everyone's stopped working.
But then we're not at a distance.
So where should we go now, people? Do we want to go check out the temple? Maybe stroll along the docks a bit more? See if we can find anyone?
We've got some time to kill.
Why don't we go down the spooky stairs?
Well, we're
Do that
doing
now?
that later. I would have assumed we were doing that later.
We can do it now and later.
Well, we said we could. Was later.
But we have so many other places to go, Luthgra.
But we're already here. And the stairs
But
are
we
right
can come
there.
back.
But they're right there.
Tell me, if there's
You
something
just
under
go down.
there, we don't want to let it out. We could put innocent
Well, it's
people
not
at
like it's
risk.
got a door. It's just a
How about-
hole in the ground.
It does
How about
not.
you go
It does
down
not have a
first?
door. So if it, I will say, if it was something that wanted to leave, it could do so at any time. Like there's no door.
Stop
to it.
enabling him.
No, I want to clarify the picture that you
Yeah,
guys are seeing.
okay.
This is the
Um,
hole with spooky
not-
stairs.
Not trying to back up his argument. I'm just saying it's not like you guys leaving would prevent it from doing anything if there is anything
Yeah.
down there.
If there's trouble, I'd rather wait until the workers are clear before we go potentially stirring something up.
Yeah, want to be careful. Don't go down the spooky stairs.
Also,
There's people around.
the temple may be closed later on in the evening, but the stairs are always going to be open. So,
'Cause we got the key.
case of time management here.
We don't need a key. It's stairs. Oh, we lost a
Bye.
person.
Amanda's here.
Oh,
Keys onto
We
the
can-
building site.
Fix that.
We've got
Uh,
access.
All right, I guess I don't know. Go down.
So
some
we will go to
stairs.
the temple just to make sure that it remains open. And if we find the injured survivor, we can just get details from them, get their name, see where they're going to be. We will deal with that.
Spooky stairs.
agreed.
Fine.
Perfect.
So temple?
The temple.
Sure.
Confront the accused.
All right. You guys head to the temple, and upon kind of taking the time. Oop, there he comes. Now I have to fix the interface for a second.
Yeah, slightly messed up.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're
I'm
fine.
the
You're
dungeon
good.
master now.
Ooh,
Yes.
I'm a
It's
level
alright.
3 rogue.
It's fine. I fixed it. It's all
Yeah,
fixed
no,
as soon as
sorry.
he comes.
No,
as soon as
sorry.
he comes.
The ISP gods are very.
No, that's what happens when we're live. Not too much of a problem.
The gods look down upon our quest. It is a sign.
It is.
We didn't go down the spooky stairs.
Uh,
But it happened when you mentioned going down the spooky stairs.
Yeah, I don't think that lines up. I don't think that lines up.
good went down the spooky stairs, and then his internet went out. I have a switch on my side. No. So going to the temple. Again, you were given generic directions. So, Does anyone want to try to lead trying to find this place?
Oh yes, we don't actually have directions to the
You
temple.
have a generic area. It's not going to be extremely hard, but
The
just...
Do we know?
The temple would be the biggest building.
I would like to assume so.
True. I'm just seeing...
Any place of worship should be the grandest place in any area.
I just want to see who's taking lead on trying to find it.
That's the wrong button.
Does someone in particular want to
go.
do so?
What are we trying to find?
Any ideas?
What do we
man?
decide?
Trying to find the temple.
Yeah, you guys are going to go check the temple.
Does the cleric know much about the temple?
I would definitely know the most about a temple. But I don't know anything about this city. I do have, perception and survival.
I would allow it to be a perception check, because
Okay.
so you can make a perception check for good, and I will kind of see. It's more of just kind of how long this will take. 15. 15's pretty good. You do wander a little bit, trying to find this facility, and kind of using the general directions. You get in the general area and kind of take a few turns and kind of looking for a very big building. This one.
Let's ask someone for directions. Stop just leading us. Pull
True
over and
adventurers
ask.
don't need help.
We're men.
None of the men from my tales ask for help in their courageous adventures. If I'm to write my own story, we do this on our terms.
And and wandering for that 10 or so extra minutes, just arguing about directions, not anything crazy. You finally find it is a slightly bigger than a few of the buildings around, but not anything glorious by any means. You just see a very what looks like simple building. There's nothing too descriptive about it. The only thing you see is what looks like a symbol that is kind of etched into the side of what looks kind of it looks slightly like a cross, but you notice at the bottom it kind of points down into more of a sword like.
Do I recognize this symbol?
Make a religion check. It's not going to be a very hard check.
Yeah, no, I want to know. I want to know everything about this god. I want to know. It was a 20. It's not coming up. See, it's the internet.
It might be the internet.
What did he have
Oh,
for
yes, you might have
breakfast?
been disconnected from the thing.
I really hope I don't have to roll that again, because that was a natural 20.
Okay, you rolled a natural 20. I'll just allow it. Because again,
I see it. I see the 20.
Yeah, you definitely see it. I'll allow it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Because there's decent. You have heard this god is basically Heir or Heir. You know, it's pronounced slightly different ways, and some people don't care the pronunciation. She is known as a traditional god of healing. Some say that she has been a form of Frigg at some point in the past, and sometime traverses both continents in kind of a more healing factor. So it does seem to be more of a healing facility. Most of their temples, you know, are kind of more treated like hospitals a lot of the time, for people who are tragically in that, and really only.
So that I would definitely know this guy.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if if you just absolutely recognized it. And basically, you know, they basically don't really take. It's not a very lucrative temple or church or following. They rarely will even take donations of their beliefs, because even their beliefs even are sometimes, like, depending on person's time, they on as they know that it's kind of a little bit of both healing and death in their own way. But you know a decent amount about this, and immediately recognizing that symbol as kind of walking in, yeah, it's a very simple place. You see benches laid out with multiple candles and worshiping spots, and what looks like kind of a back area that is kind of closed off by what looks like a few curtains, where you see what looks like a few wood cots and things like that. Just almost set up like a simple hospital room setup. You see there seems to be 2 individuals who are on the cots, but they seem to be mostly covered up, and 2 robed figures. One is a human woman, and the other is a dwarven. Both just kind of walking around for a moment, and they kind of notice you guys walking in, and you see the dwarven male just kind of turn and just. What's wrong? Don't look hurt.
I'm gonna take
You've
off
done
the
nothing.
little fur bowler hat I got on and just hold it in my hand, and hi, we want he doesn't talk.
Can someone tell me what he's trying to say?
We're looking for someone.
Yeah, that.
I don't know if you can help us or if you're not allowed to share us details of people who've been in here. But we heard we could possibly find a male who had survived an incident at the nearby docks. We heard he may be here. We're just looking for
Survived.
lead.
Yeah, he's still here. He's laying right over there, and he points at the one that's slightly closer. And you see what looks like a bearded human male, mostly covered from the shoulder down with what looks like a very simple blanket, who is awake, but doesn't seem to respond with either your guys' talking or him pointing or anything like that. He's just kind of like almost staring into the distance a little bit at the moment.
Yeah.
And he just goes, they told me his name was Wilhelm. He was attacked on one of those boats. They found him on a plank of wood out in the ocean. He was almost frostbitten, lost his leg. Not really doing great.
I'm gonna walk over to him and say, "Hello, sir." And touch him and cast Healing Hands on him.
Okay.
And then, do you know what happened to you?
Okay. You walk over and you kind of do that, and you see, as you kind of touch him and do your Healing Hands, you see a little bit more of a awareness come for a second as he kind of turns and he just goes. He just kind of breathes heavy for a second, and he just turns back for a second and then comes backwards, and he just like, they wanted to drag me under, but I wouldn't let them.
Who wanted to drag you under?
I couldn't see. It was so dark under the water. You see his eyes kind of go a little bit wide, and you notice that the arm that you're touching is slightly like cold to the touch. As you notice that there are what looks like little bits of the beginning of frostbite looks like has started to mostly heal, but has look like covered at least part of his body. But he says that, breathes heavy some more, and then kind of goes more silent again for a little bit of time.
I make sure he's nice and tucked in with the blankets.
Okay. He doesn't really pay any mind to what you do. It seems like he's almost gone back into like a more catatonic state at the moment. And
Did we all hear that, by the way, or was that kind of just to...
It was pretty loud. It was pretty loud.
Okay.
I would say most of you heard at least the gist of it. Maybe not exactly
Yeah.
word for word, but you definitely heard the gist of it.
All right, cool. Thank you.
But yeah, you see the human woman kind of come over and help get him comfortable as well, and she kind of just looks over at you, Olive, and just kind of nods her head and just goes, "Well, thank you for giving him comfort for a little bit, at least. But he's looking very tired at the moment, and you can kind of see him starting to nod off, probably maybe from pain or just not wanting to deal with whatever's going on."
Yeah.
Seems like his injuries are a bit more than physical. This is not something I know too much about.
There
Water
are
ghost.
some things that minds don't seem to be able to handle very well. Near-death experiences are usually one of them. And magic can only do so much, and the magic can only do so much to the body as well, and we do what we can. We let them be comfortable, and we've seen people do things like this from accidents and attacks and things like this, and it just takes time a lot of the time.
So this isn't like a unique thing. This is just very typical of attacks and various other
From what I've seen,
similar ailments.
it's not exactly typical, but it is not something brand new, I would say.
Okay. Okay.
And to clarify, from what she seems to be saying, it's not like this guy has been mentally affected by anything. This is just someone who's struggled with being attacked and almost dying.
Yeah, just kind of shock, kind of
Yep, shock,
stress.
a little
yeah.
bit of PTSD.
Traumatized.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beg
Okay.
your pardon. Has anyone tried just slapping him out of it? Just right across the face and...
It never works.
No, okay.
No, I tried it in my younger days. It never works. It
Alright.
only works in a very specific scenario, and that's not this one.
Slap-related scenario makes sense. Not water ghosts. Got it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your help. Can we know your names, perhaps, in case we need to come back?
Well, I'm Burrig. And the woman kind of just comes up and she goes, and I'm Trude.
Burrig and Trude. Okay.
Brood and burring. Got it.
There we go. So that, unless you want to ask any more questions, is seemingly what you have found at the temple.
Did anyone
guess I would
else
ask
seem to
everyone
take
else.
interest in what we were doing?
Do clarify what you mean by that. Do you mean is there anyone like following you around
Creepy.
town, or do you mean at the temple?
Around town, around the building site, is there anyone who's sort of made an appearance more than once, perhaps standing out
Nope.
from the general crowd?
Not that you've seen. People do every once in a while stare. Some of you are a couple strange individuals, but not anything
That is true.
yeah, not that anything has perked your eye. You haven't seen certain people more than once or anything like that. Just people have taken notice of your presence a little bit, but most people just shrug and just go, a weird person. So no, nothing like that.
Okay.
So assuming you don't stay at the temple any longer,
Yeah. What roughly? Do we have an idea on the time of day? Just is it?
it's starting to get a little
sunset
later.
now?
You
Okay.
guys have been here a couple hours now, and you got here a little early afternoon, so I would say it's getting
Yeah.
about an hour from sundown. 'Cause sun does go down a little earlier in these couple months. So it's general time around 5-ish o'clock.
5-ish. Okay.
Yeah, so you have about an hour till the sun will go down, and then you can do what you want. I don't know if you guys want to find a place to stay before you venture out.
I'm
or...
feeling hungry. I'm feeling hungry. I don't want to go investigating on an empty stomach.
No, that's a travesty. We can't have that.
We should find a place to stay and get some food, and then by the time we've eaten and gotten everything sorted there, we should be time for us to head back to the docks and investigate the storage facility. That's all right with everyone else?
Now they want to go down the spooky stairs.
I want food.
No, food sounds good. I like that idea.
Then we go down the spooky stairs. If you're gonna die, do it with a full belly.
I hope we're all in the mood for fish.
Fish, pork, squids, crabs, sea squids, sea pigs. All sounds good.
Sea pigs.
Sea
Yeah.
pig.
They may not have
Now I have
fish
to-
as they're
now I
not
have-
having fishermen.
Dang it! Now I have to have a homebrew sea pig.
I mean, I can describe what he means.
No.
He means a manatee.
No, I actually got what you meant. I was more making a joke. Okay. So just asking around, there seems to be two main taverns that your kinds of sorts usually go into that provide food and lodging and things like that. It's more depending on what you're interested in. If you're looking for some,
kind of sorts.
I couldn't think of a better
Well.
phrase for some reason. No,
we are
it's
traveling with a princess. We
no that is
better lodging than your kind of sort.
no. What I meant is a decent place with lodging and food available, and usually alcohol. The kind of typical
Okay.
taverns. There are bars and taverns that just have alcohol and food that you could go to, but that's not what you're looking for. So I'm saying, for what you guys are looking for, there's a cat. You don't have a familiar yet. No. There's two basic ones that kind of asking around. If you're looking for something a little closer to the docks, people recommend mostly is the Slumbering Giant, or if you're looking for something a little bit closer to the middle of town, or a little bit more on the edge of town, farther away from the docks, there seems to be a tavern called the End of the Road that a couple people tell you about. Just asking around and trying to figure a place to eat and stay. It's more depending on what you guys are interested, or which one sounds more interesting. I would say more people, especially in this area of town, recommend Slumbering Giant.
Yes. I think recommendations are always good. It's near where we need to be. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Oh, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, let's
So-
hope they can accommodate us.
I have to admit, the end of the road doesn't sound like the most accommodating place. I mean, names are names, but names have meanings, and
Yeah.
I'd happily stick with the Slumbering Giant.
I don't know, we could just sort of call it the final destination.
That's so it seems as though the party is set on the Slumbering Giant. So kind of getting a few directions from some people. It doesn't take you too long, only about 20 or so minutes to find the Slumbering Giant. It is a decent sized building, even a little bigger than the temple, kind of set over to the side. It looks like it has 2 floors, and kind of built a little different than most of the other buildings. Most of the other buildings have a more traditional Doric theme a lot of the time, but has some variations with these different cultures that are all matched together. But this one seems to be almost like a log cabin in a strange way, set up as a 2-story, and kind of you walk in and the kind of warmth immediately fills you guys and fills the room as it is a good warm temperature in here. And kind of seeing the simple bar set up, multiple tables with chairs, a few inset in the wall, and what looks like a bar kind of sit on the left. You see behind the counter, kind of wiping down a little bit, a pretty tall woman, what looks like a race that some of you have seen before, but maybe not all. Kind of tanner skin, almost graying, larger nose with pointed ears, hair kind of going down to her mid back. Fairly tall for a woman. As some of you know, this is a Furbolg woman running this. And as you guys come in, she kind of just casually looks up, just kind of goes, "Oh, hello. How are you all doing?" And you guys kind of step forward over to the counter. "How can I help you all?"
We need lodging.
"I do have lodging. Is there any particular amount of lodging you would need? You are a fair bit of people."
We certainly are. How many rooms have you got? And what is the pricing? Let's be clear.
It depends on the size of the room you need. We have a few rooms available. There's really only one taken up right now, so I have 4 rooms available. 2 of them are a little bigger than the others. If you're looking for pricing, maybe a second, I can tell you that. Pull out my handy dandy thing that has all the pricing, because I don't always set them ahead of time because I don't know where you guys are going.
My room must be as close to hers as possible.
As close to hers. So, the smaller rooms are
Stalker.
The smaller rooms are 5 silver piece for the room per night for the room. The larger rooms are 8 silver piece per night for the room.
I will take a smaller room since I will be by myself.
Okay.
I'm happy with a small room.
The rooms have like beds.
Yes, the smaller rooms generally have 1 bed. But I can maybe fit a second one in there, but it would be rather tight. The larger rooms right now have 2, but a third one could fit and still be pretty comfortable.
I am fine with cramped spaces.
I'm fine with
So
sharing
all we
a
need
room.
is two small rooms and a large room. I'm more than happy to share. We fit 3 beds in a large room. It may be tight, but sure we'll all do just fine.
I am used to it.
Yeah.
Okay. I
think the walrus might need a room to themselves, but the rest of us should be okay.
He's afraid of how handsome I am, I can tell. It's fine.
2 small rooms and 1 large room.
I can get that set up for you. It'll take me a minute to get another bed set up in the larger room, but I can get that set for you. For sure.
Well, good. I mean, I think we intend to eat anyway. We have a busy evening ahead of us, so.
Well, I can get food ready very quickly.
Together?
If you were looking for that, if you guys want to take a seat, it'll be about 15 or 20 minutes, and I can have food out ready for you. Is there anything anyone particularly likes? Meat, more veggies, more things like that?
I'm not a fan of fish. I'd like more meat, please.
Okay, we have some. We do have a little bit more fish, but we do have some other meats and things.
A good
Do you
mix
have
of
available
things,
this time?
please.
Good mix, a little more meat. Certainly.
I'll take a mix, but more mix than her mix.
So you
Yes.
are going to eat more than that tiny lady there. What you're telling me.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I just want chef's recommendations. Whatever's good in this area. I like to try
I'll bring out multiple different options, and if you pick a favorite, then next time I'll make you your favorite.
Very appreciated. Thank you.
Perfect. And she kind of just goes to the back, and you start to hear some banging around of stuff, and you've got the time. Eventually, after about 15-20 minutes, she starts bringing out plates of food. Some are kind of veggie plates all spread out of different vegetables. Some you've seen, some are basic, and some are a little different. They're more of a blue tinted color, kind of like radishes and things like that, but they taste sweeter in a strange way. Then she brings out a few meats, a couple plates of fish, but prepared slightly differently. Some prepared more like sushi, raw, but one that seemingly cooked and chopped up with different stuff on top. But she does bring out plates of beef and a few other different kinds of meats, all put together on a simple plate, and kind of sets out a few more empty plates for the group and different things for you guys to take what you want as that was what was requested.
Well, while we were waiting for food, I'm just gonna go over the notes that I've taken today and consider the history of the area, and has there been similar attacks reported in the past, or some story that I may have read that relates. And rolled
I see.
with mods 20.
No, not anything that would really match. I mean, there's not really much stories about this area. It's just it's a pretty simple town. You know, there are a few, you know, more famous people that say they're from here or say they had done things around here. You know, that most problems get taken out by a warrior guild in the area, which is named the Divided Vanguards. But perhaps there's something going on with them, or maybe they're doing something else at the moment to be able to take care of such of these problems. But nothing from what you've heard of the two different incidents, nothing in particular has happened anytime recently that you would have read.
I mean, clearly the pieces have fallen together and we're dealing with water ghosts. 100%.
From what we've heard, it does certainly seem to be something coming up from under the water, and I don't know much about water ghosts, but
they're made of water.
We'll
do
leave it
watery
on the table.
crimes.
I
Elemental,
remember,
dear walrus.
I remember a tale my
Yes.
father once told me about a sea beast. A kraken, I believe he called it.
I've
That
heard
could
tales
be
of Kraken.
a possibility.
I feel if it was a kraken, I mean, it's certainly possible, but you know, there's been no solid kraken sightings for, I mean, ever. No one's ever been able to confirm a kraken sighting because they typically don't live to tell the tale. But possible.
No one is living aside from
That is true. No one is living.
aside from that one fellow who, well, is a bit touched in the head right now.
I said that didn't work though. They touched him in before and it didn't work.
You didn't try your.
We definitely need to keep our.
It's effective.
We need to keep our suspect list open, and any ideas, including the Kraken or water ghosts, they could all help. They could all we may find out more, and it may lead us down those paths.
Water ghost. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, told you.
I just keep
Valid
eating.
theory.
I just shove food in my mouth
Yeah.
as this is going on.
Yeah, so you guys take the time to eat upon kind of waiting for the time for the food to come out, and then eating as fast or slow as you want. I'll say about the hour goes by. It's now, the sun has just been finished setting. You guys can wait longer if you're interested in going closer later in the evening, or you could go now if that was something you were interested in.
You know about the time that place closes?
Yeah, it basically closes pretty much right before sundown.
Okay.
So
they're closed.
So there might be one or two workers who stay a tiny bit late. Maybe the foreman stays a tiny bit late, but now that it has gotten to actual sundown, they've probably all left.
We wouldn't be disturbing their
Probably
stuff.
not.
Though. That's the deal.
Probably not. I mean, you guys could wait a little bit longer to be certain, if that was your concern. I just didn't know if you were waiting for a particular time or not.
No, just waiting for kind of things to die down in the area, I believe.
I'd say if you waited another like 20-ish minutes and then left, you would be pretty certain that there won't be no one there.
If anyone left anything uneaten, I'm gonna put on a plate and take it with us as we leave.
Sure, I'll say a few things were left uneaten, but not too much, but enough for you to have your own little to-go box.
Walk and snack.
Mm-hmm.
How many samples were I given of different meals to try?
I would say not necessarily meals, but parts
just
parts
like
of
small
meals,
dishes.
like 10, like about 10 different kind of things that...
I'm gonna roll a D10 to see which is my favorite. I think this is the D10. This might be the D12.
That is the D12.
That is the D12.
You didn't like it.
That is the D12.
Like a mix of 10 and 2. Very cool.
Okay.
I like the 2. That 2, fabulous. Best meal I've ever had. What was it?
The 2 was the cooked fish. With having a father as a fisherman, you have been tired of fish for a long time. But you're like, you know what this is? I haven't seen this one before and cooked like this. And eating it, you realize that it's actually doesn't really taste like fish that much. It strangely tastes a little bit like chicken, and it has some kind of weird sweetness to it that is just really good. And for Olive, there is like a there's like a vegetable that almost looks like a carrot, but it is like a whitish color that seemingly has like a little bit of a blue texture to it, and when you bite into it, it strangely tastes like baked goods or cupcakes. It's that sweet, and you were like, wow, I wish all carrots tasted like
Makes sense.
Just as fun little things. And so there's a few bits of food that the walrus takes with him. So waiting that bit of time, eating those things, you make your way to the actual warehouse. Luckily, the foreman gave you a small key that opens the back entrance to open and investigate it at will if you would like to. The facility is pretty dark. It seems like they mostly use sunlight to work, which is why they probably, once it gets night. There are a few sconces and stuff around that you guys would have to light if you wanted to do so, but it really does not light up the facility that well.
I pull out a piece of moss, and I rub it on the tip of my my mace, and my mace lights up.
So, yeah, you're casting light. So you do that, and now you're holding your lit up mace, and it does light things up to an extent. It gets blocked by crates and things like that, but you definitely can see much more around you as well. And if you wanted to light the sconces, that's enough to definitely navigate the facility pretty well. But getting lost just for about a moment of trying to figure out where you are in it, you do find where that staircase is. If you want to search anywhere else upstairs at the moment before you decided to go down there, you can. Not sure what you guys are interested in doing. Just assuming you guys were heading straight there.
I vote spooky stairs.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. You still feel that same
Okay, we will investigate the spooky stairs.
Yes, I knew we do it.
That still same cool air kind of comes from it. Not that it's necessarily a breeze, but it just almost just feels a little colder. But kind of, who wants to take point? It is a big enough staircase that you guys could be two at a time if you wanted to. But I just want to know who's going down.
I'll go first.
I'll be right behind him.
Okay.
Idea. I'll be in the middle.
Okay.
No, the princess is in the middle.
Okay. But I'm behind the princess.
Okay. You can be that way.
Fair.
So,
Actually, at that point, now that I'm thinking about the makeup of the group, I'm at the back.
Okay. One in the front, one in the back. Got it. So, just we could shift around as it goes. I just wanted to know kind of at the beginning. So,
Yeah.
Austin, Ruth Girl, why don't you make a perception check? Just you're the first kind of one in there.
All right, my amazing
I
perception.
imagine Lithgow is very perceptive. Yes, he
You're
seems like a
good. You're rolling good.
marvelously wise individual.
You're rolling good. So what you do notice is, the facility, the room down here is smaller. You can kind of just barely, with the dark vision you do have, make out the edge of the room all the way in the back. As the light kind of starts creeping in, you do still feel that same cold air kind of permeating. It's almost as if it's actually very cold down here. You see what looks like a large stack of crates kind of in the center, and what looks like a few wooden pillars that are kind of holding up the floor above the ceiling, up through there. You notice that there are barrels and crates also stacked up along the walls at the moment. It looks like even though the construction process is still happening, and some of these crates and things have those construction materials, it seems that they have already started to store stuff down here. But what you do notice is just as Gudbrand is coming down at the very end, as you're getting to the bottom of the stairs, you notice that you see what looks like a few little glints of light coming a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and kind of a little bit at the very end of the chamber. Almost as if something's reflecting off of it.
I'm gonna mention that to the rest of the group, and then just go start poking at the bits that are shining.
Okay. So the first one you kind of see is in front of you, and you go walk towards it, a little bit in front of the group, and go poke it. And you realize it is cold to the touch. It's hard to see. You just reach your hand out and you feel your hand touch something kind of a little cold and wet. And then you try to pull your hand back and you realize that whatever it is, it's some sort of sticky substance.
All right, nobody say anything, but I made a mistake.
So you guys
The
see him
walrus
holding
made
his
mistake.
You guys see him holding his hand out like
It's unprecedented,
this,
I know.
and you don't really see what he's touching. It almost looks like his hand is a little bit from the angle. It kind of looks like he's touching the boxes, but it's actually a hair out from it, and he's just like kind of reeling it back. Looks like something is like his arm is stuck to something.
I like that hand, but I think you're gonna have to chop it off now.
Looks like you've got yourself into a sticky situation.
Gudbrand pulls,
Yeah,
Gudbrand pulls out a dagger, and he's
I think
gonna
an
help him
axe
cut
would
his
work
arm
better,
off.
but
Session
This is
1,
all-
we're going to start crippling the party members.
Yeah. No. As
I'm at the
Gudbrand
base of a stairs.
Gudbrand,
and
did you get closer with your dagger? The light starts to hit it a lot more, and now that the light is moving with you guys close to it, you start to see what looks like very thin threads that are kind of spiraling out in a fashion that seems to be attached to a few places on the wall and the crates in front of you guys.
Is it spiders?
It looks like a spider web, but it is different. It looks almost. It's like a light bluish color.
Slimy spiders?
No, it and you can feel, and as you get closer, you feel the cold slightly radiating off of it. And
Okay, I want to. Like, I've got my mace in one hand and my dagger in the other. I was gonna go cut his arm off, but it doesn't seem like he actually wants me to do that.
make it quick.
he's just closing
I
his
just,
eyes.
like-
Wait,
Okay. I'm not actually gonna cut his arm off.
I'm gonna touch the end of my quarterstaff and cast light, so we have even more light
Mhm.
to see. So now we can see within 20 feet.
Yeah. So
And then
go ahead.
I'm
Sorry.
just gonna like walk around, but try to avoid as much as I can.
So you're starting to notice the little
The
glints
web.
of light that are showing up. The little glints of light that are showing up are more of these web-like things, and it looks like they are more covering the back end of the room where you guys are not, so the exact opposite of where the stairs are. But you notice there are still a few in the corners, and there's still a few kind of around this large pile of crates in the center. But you, luckily with enough light, and now that you kind of know that they're there, even though they are slightly hard to see, you are avoiding them for the most part to get kind of over to the side a little bit. And you can kind of see that there's seemingly more there, and you see kind of what looks like about 5 feet across, something that looks like it is just covered in the same material.
All right, I'm gonna use that dagger then to start cutting that thing out because I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
So do you go all the way over there to try to do so?
Yeah, I mean, I want to like make sure that I'm not stepping in anything.
It would be, you might have to. There's seemingly one of these webs that is covering the floor kind of before you get to that. So it'd be fairly difficult to avoid if you were going all the way there.
I'm going to hang by the steps with my rapier drawn and just keep an eye on any movement that might approach from the sides.
All right,
Okay.
well, our job here is to find out what happened to the missing people, and I think I just did. So I'm gonna go to regardless of this line.
Okay. So you're going all the way to the wrapped up individual, or what looks like an individual now that you're getting closer to it, as it does seem to resemble a vaguely humanoid shape.
Yeah.
But you start to step, and you do notice that your feet do kind of stick to these strange webbings, and that you do feel a little bit of cold coming from it. And you go over and reach, and you touch it, and you realize, yes, it's the same kind of cold webbing is wrapped around this individual. And you pull out your dagger, and you kind of stab into it and start to rip it apart. It will take a second to do so. Artist, why don't you make a perception check?
If no one comes to cut my arm off, I'm gonna just try to rip my hand off of it.
Just rip your own arm off.
Make a
Not my
strength,
arm, just my hand
just
off
make
the
a strength check.
strength check.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Dislocate his wrist.
oh yeah.
Oh no!
No, it doesn't dislocate your wrist. Luckily enough, you're just so strong. You were just barely pulling because you just didn't expect what it was. But the second you actually try to pull, it just, and you feel, you feel your hand is still cold and a little numb. And you see a little bit of the webbing is still attached to it, but it slowly kind of melts into water as your body heat kind of does.
I'm okay.
For Artis, as he finishes doing this, you see the light from the two light sources from your party members seemingly reflect off of something that's kind of on top of the crates that was there a second ago. And kind of looking at it, you see like a little bit of a shadow move slightly down towards the front end of the crates that you guys were at.
Everyone at the ready.
What are we ready for?
We've got
I
company.
We do?
And I
Cold fire.
indicate with my rapier pointing towards where the movement was on top
As
of
you
the
point,
crates.
Gudbrand, you just finished ripping this open, and you do see what looks like a halfway decaying body of what looks like a human male. You see just parts of it look completely frostbitten, and parts of it look like it have been, its veins are kind of even popping out in a strange way, where you see two large wounds kind of on the side of it. Just as he's yelling that and you look over, you see the same shadow just kind of reaching your guys' lights, and as it does, you notice it does seem to be a spider-like creature, but it is a bit larger than just a normal spider. But it doesn't seem to be black at all in color. It seems to be almost a pure white with a slight blue color all the way around it. And as your guys' lights hit it and you point, you just hear of its two little pincers kind of moving each other as it has just kind of been stalking
About
towards
how
where
big are we
Luthor
talking?
was. About almost 10 feet across.
Wait, what?
That's
I said it's bigger than a normal spider. Is what I said. So
I immediately cast Toll the Dead.
That's an elephant.
Well, we're gonna roll initiative, and then you can
I
cast
thought
roll
so.
There we
again.
go.
And guess what? We're gonna move over
Perfect.
to the map, and people will see.
Ooh.
The luck of my rolls has left.
So, for where people have been, you were over here. Good, Brian.
Well, we all kind of
you
rolled
were right
shit.
here.
That's good.
You were back by the stairs.
Oh, I started rolling it.
Alpha,
Oh,
where
that's great.
were you standing at the time? Where do you think you were standing, Alpha?
I would say I was probably like somewhere between Artis and the princess. Olive.
Okay.
Somewhere
So,
in that
we'll say
area.
about right there.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I'm gonna start feeling really awkward if everyone starts calling her the princess because of me. She has a name.
Olive.
How
I
in the
just am not
world?
allowed to use it.
She no longer has a name. It's gone forever.
I like how I rolled the highest initiative and I have a +0 to my initiative.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I forgot to roll initiative there.
No, you guys are good. You guys are good.
Oh, we have the same initiative.
I was too engaged with pointing out the spider to everyone to go, oh, yeah, we're fighting now.
How are we doing initiative ties again? Is it like highest dex?
I think it automatically does highest dex, so
It does.
It should have
Okay.
ordered it correctly. Just to let you know that.
Cool.
So
Okay, so automatically ordered.
just as you hear that, Goodbrand, you also notice that, kind of right near you, you also hear a same skittering as you feel the web under you start to shake for just a second, as these two guys have showed up. So you hear this skittering, and they rolled way higher initiative, so they actually
They did?
went
Perfect.
first.
They very much
As you
did.
guys start to do this casting, you realize they're actually decently fast and have noticed your presence for a little while and have actually made their way to you. So this one is just going to go.
Objection, Your Honor. It works sometimes.
It does work. Objection! I didn't have anything to say after that. I was just hoping you would stop.
Objection. They're spiders and they suck.
So you just hear the skittering as they crawl down these crates, and do so. So with that being the case, one is going to make a bite attack at Uthgraw. That hits. So you take this. You take 8 damage.
Perfect.
Keep in mind my AC right now is 16 because I don't have my shield out.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And then you have to make this Constitution saving throw,
Love it.
but you succeed. So you only take half of this. So you only take 3 poison damage. And that will be it for you. The same thing with Luth. So you. That misses. So the bite does not actually. Luckily enough, your armor is enough. You just pull up your arm, and you just see its 2 little pincers kind of like rattle up against it and not seem to do anything in particular. But that is the end of their turns. So it.
Mighty
Alpha.
water ghosts.
Wait,
Alpha.
it didn't
Okay.
attack me?
It did. It didn't hit. Rolled a 13.
Yes!
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It rolled a 13, so it did try to attack you. It unfortunately
Yes.
missed.
It missed.
Really quick, can y'all hear that from my mic? It's like a loud mechanical sound.
No.
No.
All right,
I
great.
haven't heard it. Oh, I
I
forgot to do music. Don't do now.
think we're gonna do something here. I think I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers. How do I target again? How do I pick my
So
target?
just click on the token you're wanting to target.
Okay. And then I will do Dissonant Whispers.
Sure. So it did fail its save by 1, but it did fail.
Cool.
So roll your damage.
Okay.
All right, 13 psychic damage, which does seem to affect it as it kind of immediately turns its head towards you as you do this. You're not sure what it does, but you just see it go. And as it does so, it immediately skitters away from Goodbrand. So I think that's how far it can move. No, it actually move. So you see it.
Attack of opportunity?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Does Goodbrand get to swipe at it?
I should, right?
I don't. Yeah, I think you do.
It's leaving his range, so.
He's not being dragged away. He's actually having to move.
No? Yeah, you'd get it. You get it. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't.
That was the plan there. That was the plan.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
even though he's moved away, you can just target him and attack him.
Nope. Nope.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think
plan failed. Well, it was worth a try.
it was worth a try, but you swing. You don't realize how fast it's about to move away from you, and you
Yeah.
quickly try to swing your mace at it, but unfortunately, it moved faster than you were expecting. Honestly, it would be there, but you guys can just barely see its legs, kind of back behind the crate. Goodbrand, you can see it a little bit more, but not much. Did you want to do anything else, Alpha?
I'm going to use my action itself to run closer to Goodbrand.
Well, you use your
Goodbrand.
action on Dissonant Whispers, but you can move towards him.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see where I've drawn that line.
No, I did. So you would
I
move
don't
right
think-
there, right?
Are the webs
Yep.
difficult terrain?
Not until you're in it. So he would just barely reach there and then start to touch the webbing and start becoming difficult terrain. So he would
Gotcha.
basically
Okay.
get to right there. Just at the
Okay,
end of
cool.
it.
That's fine by me.
You still have a bonus
And I
if you
will
wanted
end-
to do a bonus action. Just to let you know.
I think
don't have
I'm. Yeah, I think. Actually, is Bardic Inspiration bonus action?
Bardic Inspiration is a bonus action.
Yep, I'm going to give Bardic Inspiration to Goodbrand.
Okay. So I will just do that.
I think I have to
No, I'll do it real
do
quick.
something special with that.
I'll do
Okay,
it.
cool.
So you're giving it to Goodbrand? So just remind.
Yes.
So that effect is just to remind you, Goodbrand, you have inspiration. It's a D6. Use when you want. Other than that, if that ends your turn, then we get.
I'm good to go. Yep, I'm done.
We get to Olive. It is your turn now.
Great. I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb on that spider. Nice.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna make it fire damage.
Certainly, you can do that. Oof. Yeah, you cast Chromatic Orb and you quickly spin up that orb and fire it into the distance, and it's almost as if your hair even flares up a little as you do so. And it basically, you throw it like a curveball, and it just luckily barely curves and hit at the sides of it, and you just see the flame go, and you hear the same as it does so, and you start to see scorch marks on the side of it. It is looking injured, for sure, and you see a little bit of the webbing under it melt, a little.
Okay.
There's still a decent amount there because it seems to be more packed in that area, but it did look like it hurt a fair amount, not more than usual, but it definitely did. So that's your action. Do you want to do anything else?
I want to move.
Mhm.
I'm gonna move. Yeah, there we go.
Are you trying to climb on top of the crates?
Oh, it's well, shit.
Yeah, the whole bit. The bit in the middle is like a huge stack of crates.
Gotcha. I'll go there instead.
Okay. You get to right there. But not too far from Luthgraw, but now you are kind of being blocking line of sight of the other spider. Okay. Is that all you wanted to do?
Yep.
Perfect. Gudbrand, it's your turn. You know,
Well-
you feel the stickiness on your feet a little bit, but the spider that just was near you ran away.
Goodbrand is absolutely horrified to see Olive run towards. It's not okay.
Got a lot of melee spells.
Wait, oh, so you melee a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking sorcerer, so you'd be ranged. Okay, so you
No.
didn't know that. All right.
I mean, it's
Still
probably still
abso-
yeah, it's still terrifying.
It is.
Still not great. Still not super stoked about it. But you can handle her stuff, so I gotta go here. Well, you know what? I can just honestly, I'm just gonna do what I said I was gonna do. I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on the one that I swung at.
Sure. So, just target that one.
So wait, I shift and click, right? To
Control.
target it?
Control.
Control
Control
click.
click.
There you go. You're targeting him.
And then
just
Toll
hit
the
your
Dead,
save.
I go here, and then I
Yep.
go save.
He failed for sure. So do the second damage because he's already damaged.
Yes.
The D12.
Is he already damaged?
Yeah, he
When did
is.
he get damaged?
Flame, chromatic orb, and dissonant whispers.
Ah, okay, cool.
So he
Awesome.
is.
I'm
He is
definitely
very
okay
hurt.
with. Definitely okay with getting the
Yep.
D12.
That's more than enough. That is more than enough. You quickly bang your mace together with your dagger in your hand, and it kind of makes a
No, I have my shield out.
or
now.
your shield out. You pull out your shield
Yeah,
and
I
you
definitely pulled my shield out.
Quickly
Yeah, slam them together.
slam them together, and it makes a loud kind of noise that seemingly.
Well, it's one of those round shields that has the bell on the front, and he
Oh,
hits
yeah.
the bell at it.
Okay, for sure. You do that, and you kind of hear the ringing, and it seemingly doesn't affect anyone else. But the second it reaches the ears of the spider, you kind of see it just go, and then suddenly collapse as that has seemingly killed that one.
Nice.
But that was your action to do so.
Yeah. Then I am going. So this would be 10 feet,
Yeah, moving one would be 10 feet,
and then so
and then you'd have a little bit.
be able to move.
Yeah.
I could only move to right here, right?
Yeah, you would
5,
just
10,
barely.
15,
You would
20.
just barely get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's your full movement there.
Oh.
So, would you like to do, or just to make sure you don't need to do anything else, right?
There's some bonus actions I could take, but I don't after that one went down that easy. I think we're gonna be fine.
Okay. Artist, what would you like to do? You're muted, Artist.
Of course I was. This is such a brilliant plan too.
Okay.
Now I've got to repeat it all. I'm gonna try and move around the side of it, as it seems to be engaged with
Luthgra, yeah.
Walrus anyway. So,
Mhm.
see if I can sneak in a sneak attack.
Sure. Which side are you trying to loop around this way?
Well, if the top of the map is north, then
You're trying to
sort
go
of
like
the
there?
north side. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say that's 25 feet of your movement. You loop around and avoid the webbing to do so. Before you make an attack, make a perception check for me. Okay. No. You're too focused on the large thing in front of you that you're about to try to get sneak attack on. So you can go ahead and target him and roll your attack if that's what you're looking at doing.
So it's, go actions.
22 does hit, and you do get sneak attack. So click that effect and then roll your damage.
Nice.
But, yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
Now roll your rapier
and-
damage. Ooh, 16. Yeah, you find right where its legs is meeting its thorax and get your rapier and just stab right there. You hear crunching of exoskeleton and then mashing of whatever is inside of it for a moment, and you just hear like crackling as it reels back from that pain, and luckily has started to kind of, well, not unluckily has started to turn towards you and see you as now a threat. So did you want to do anything else with your turn?
Is there a disengage action?
As a rogue, you get cunning action, so you can do that as a bonus action. So you can disengage. And
Okay, so yeah, I step back to the northeast. 5.
so right there.
Yeah.
So you use your bonus action to disengage and just step a little bit farther back from it, getting out of its range at the moment. So you do get to do that.
Yep, so if it comes for me, he gets an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, depending on how he moves, for sure.
Yeah.
Now he could easily stay within.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He's
not
a
a very
big
smart-
boy.
It's not a very smart creature.
That's true.
So we'll see. Assuming that was the end of your turn, Artist, because I think that was everything you could do. It's Luthgar's turn.
It is. Really quick, Dylan, can you turn that background music down a little bit?
Yes.
I don't know if you can do it for one person, because for me it's really loud.
How about?
It is really loud.
Sorry. Is
No, it's okay.
that good for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect now.
Sorry.
That's all good.
Hard to tell on my end whether it's loud for you guys. Or
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure how it was for everyone else, so I wanted
I
to
figured it had
wait.
to do with
Yeah, that was the same with me. I was trying to gauge if it was
No,
okay
you're
for
good.
everyone.
I have it set separately for the stream, so
Okay.
I can turn it
Okay.
down for you guys, but not for them.
Okay,
that's
great.
That's beautiful then.
All right.
I was able to get it that way. So
All right, it's my turn. I'll just start. I'm gonna start. I guess chanting like a hymn to Tyr as I will use my bonus action to rage.
sure. Use your bonus action to fly
And-
into a furious rage.
Well, he's pretty calm. He just
No,
gets,
I know.
You know.
A very calm rage.
His kind of furious rage, which is
My ear itches. That's better. And then I'm just gonna swing my halberd at this watery, bitey ghost, and not hit it
nope.
because
Unfortunately, you do not hit.
It's
Reckless
it's-
attack. Reckless attack.
I can't because I forgot because I haven't played a barbarian yet.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, well,
Um,
he already rolled, so
Yeah, no, I already rolled.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a minute to remember that. But that's all I can do because I'm a simple man.
he's a very simple kind of.
So that's the end of my turn.
I'm the bard.
Oh, sorry.
But
Right.
that's why you
My
should
bad.
watch his Twitch sings for sure. For that exact reason. Okay. He's gonna stay where he is, but he's actually going to use his web attack on Artis. So that does hit him. So
Is that a ranged attack?
it is a ranged attack.
Then
But this is it's
advantage?
it's particular for. There's a particular reason why it's not.
That's fine. I gotta try, man.
No,
gotta
you're
try.
good. You're good.
Reflex save?
You don't. Well, so no, you don't get one. He hit your armor class, so this is what happens. He shoots this webbing at you, and you try to dodge out of the way, but unfortunately, it catches you by the foot, and the rest kind of wraps up your midsection. You are now restrained. That too, because you will see what that happens. So you are now restrained. You can't physically move, and your arms are getting stuck by the web and everything like that. But that is the only thing it can actually do on that turn, because it will stay where it's at. It doesn't feel like moving at the moment. But before Alpha gets to go, you suddenly hear a as you suddenly Artis, you finally start to notice that coming from around the other side, kind of closer where you at, you see a slightly larger spider, not necessarily in size, but its back half is like a larger size, and you just see it. You feel this cold air hit you as it gets closer, as it back here moves.
Guys, Mama's home.
Nope, it would actually get
Mama's home.
right there.
DM shenanigans.
What? You know, I gave him a perception check to try to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
And all the light is on the other side of the room. He just notices as it gets close. So, with that being the case, it's going to make a bite attack against you. And since you're restrained, it gets advantage. That's a natural 20.
Oh no!
So you take 10 piercing damage.
Oh, that's not so bad.
And you have to make this Constitution save, which you do succeed. So you only take half of this damage. Or you only take 4 damage.
So
From
14
poison.
in total.
Yes. So it already is added to your sheet. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that 14 next to your health is how much damage you've taken. So you got 7 left. But that is its turn. As it does not have any kind of multi-attack or anything like that. Elfla, it's your turn. You, unfortunately, are the only one who can't really see either of them at the moment, as they're both on the other side of this kind of large mountain of crates.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of move back the way, kind of following Goodbrand a little bit.
Okay.
To use, I think, half of my movement. Because you said I was on the edge of the difficult terrain, so just half my movement to get
so
to
I would say
there.
that would be 25 feet of your movement. So you have 5 more feet if you wanted to move.
25. That's fine. That's fine. I'll just use the extra 5 to get next to Goodbrand then.
Okay, so this is you just coming around. You see both now. So you see the slightly larger one.
Okay.
That is in the back, but it is harder to see because Luthgraw and the other spider are currently kind of blocking them.
Okay. And as I see the spider, the one closest to Luthgraw, I'm just gonna say, you know what? I thought I was afraid of spiders, but these spiders aren't that bad. And with such, I will cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay. Here, hold up. Okay. Well, you accidentally had yourself targeted as well, but you both succeeded.
Oh,
so
did
you succeeded on your own diss, luckily enough. Which is funny, but no, they both succeeded.
I admitted that I was actually afraid of spiders and kind of mocked myself a little bit.
Lying to yourself
almost,
caused
but then
an
you were
issue.
like, nah, you're good. So, unfortunately, yeah, Vicious Mockery does not take effect.
That is okay.
That is your action. Did you want to do
that is my action.
And you moved. Did you want to do bonus or not?
Do I have any actual... I have Healing Word, but...
Yeah, you have
yeah,
Healing
you know
Word.
what? I think I'll... yeah, I think I might chuck a Healing Word at good friend Artis.
Okay.
Let me cast that. Just at level 1.
I'm your local BDSM poster boy, clad in leather and webs.
So 5, and I already got it.
There you go,
Artis.
5.
So,
cool.
As he says, as he yells at the spider that he's not afraid of spiders, strangely enough, Artis, you're like, you know what? I'm not afraid of spiders either. And you just feel your wounds close slightly as a magical word makes its way
That's
to your
how that
ear.
works. Yeah.
It's fun.
Your sheer force of being unafraid.
A magical
Heals this
word
man.
from the bard magically it comes over to you. And
Jesus,
some of those
cat,
wounds.
go somewhere
I've
else.
dealt with clingier women.
Right. Yep, that is my turn. I'm good there.
All right, then it's Olive.
My turn, sword.
So yeah,
Great.
you're still next to this big one, but you now see just under the legs of that one behind it, another one coming up on Artis, who is just struggling in these webs at the moment.
Great. So I'm gonna move 5 feet so I can be in melee range of
Thank
that
you.
spider.
Yes.
And then I want to cast Shocking Grasp on it.
Okay. You can certainly do so.
Or not.
No.
Ooh.
That was
10.
a lot of 5s.
Yeah, 10 unfortunately 10 unfortunately misses the spider. As you go to do so, it kind of you kind of go to grab at one of its 8 legs, but it kind of rears back in almost a threatening pose as it does so, and your grasp just kind of misses, and you grab the web thinking, oh no, I'm now going to be stuck. The grasp still goes off and shocks the web around you, and you're not actually stuck to it.
Great.
But
Real shit. I'm gonna bonus action spit at it.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
You do so. As you do so, you realize it freezes on the way there, and just against the side. Doesn't do anything, but
Makes a nice sound.
it does make a nice sound for sure. Good Brand, you see Olive run forward and whiff it. But you now see the 2 spiders in front of you.
All right, so I'm going to. Can't really get to him. Definitely don't want to be in melee with it though. I don't like that she's in melee with it. I think what I'll do is I'll just move a little closer. And then I'll cast Toll the Dead on this guy.
Okay, where do you want to move closer to?
Right here.
I don't see the line.
Like just behind Luthgraw. Like
Oh,
just
okay, so
yeah.
so we're like right there.
No, like one down.
Okay, got it. So about 20 feet of your movement.
Okay.
And you're casting Toll the Dead on that one.
Yes.
Sure.
Click the button. Oh wait, no, I didn't.
Yeah, just target him real
There.
quick.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Oops. Sorry. I pressed it like 6 times.
No, the first one does succeed.
It succeeds.
yeah.
Okay.
If it ever gets rolled twice, I always take the first one. The first one did
Yeah,
succeed.
definitely.
So it
So that's all well and good. I am also going to cast bonus action. Spiritual weapon.
Sure. Where do you want your spiritual weapon?
Spiritual. How do I like ping?
Here, I'll give you a token, and then you might be able
Okay.
to move the token.
Nice.
Just give me a second, because I forgot you took that spell and didn't have a token ready for it. There we go. That'll work for now. So did you want it?
Right here.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's where your spiritual weapon is.
Yeah, and it's going to attack. So this can I?
Yeah, just target it like you would. Target it like you just did the other thing, and
Okay,
then just roll the
Gotcha.
spiritual
Just
weapon
keep
attack.
it targeted like that.
Yeah,
Got it.
if you're doing the same creature, yeah. That does hit.
That does hit. Okay,
Yes.
great.
They're not extremely.
Um,
This one, they're not extremely armored. 6 damage. Yeah. Your spiritual weapon summons mystically into the air, and as it does so, it swings right out. But it luckily had just reared up from that blast, and then your spiritual weapon smacks it on the side, and it falls back down, hearing a little bit of a crunch as its exoskeleton cracks a little bit, as it kind of just is looking at the whole crowd around it. So that was your bonus action, and did you want to move any more, or were you good?
I know. I'm good where I'm at.
Okay. Artists. So first off, the web, the cold bit of the web, kind of, you start to feel it eat into your skin a little bit, so you take 1 damage from the web. It already got added. But also, you realize that as the larger spider gets closer to you, it feels extremely cold next to it. And so you also take 6 more cold damage, as just being near this larger spider that just emulates this cold kind of feels worse and worse and worse. So you're back to where you were a second ago. But the healing word did save you from going immediately unconscious. Artist, you're muted again, I think.
Is it a strength check to break the web, or?
Yes, I'm double checking, but pretty sure that is the case. Yes, it is a strength check, and it is your action to try to do so.
That's okay, because my disengage action is going to be to flop backwards and try and roll away if
No,
this
go ahead.
fails.
Yeah. That is surely enough. You are now broken from the webbing.
Get out of there!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a disengage action to step back.
So you have-
Diagonal southeast.
So, how far do you want to go?
However far I can move.
Well, that's 20 feet, so you got 10 more feet.
Yeah, right up to the base of the steps. Should be good.
Sure. Get you right there. So you get up there and you start putting your feet on a few of the steps as you just kind of get away, realizing this cold has like started to eat at your skin. You're starting to see blue little spots. But luckily breaking all that webbing off and getting away from it, you're starting to feel a little bit warmer for sure. But yeah, that is your turn at that point. Uthgra, it's your turn. You are still
Hello.
raging.
I am. Alright, I'm gonna move. I gotta do math in my head because my reach is 10 feet.
If you move one up, you should be able to vote the
Thank
other
you.
one, if that's what you're asking.
I am. I was trying to do it in my head without asking, but I failed because I'm a dumb bitch. Alright. How big does the spider, the other one look? Is it any?
It's
Is it
slightly bigger.
slightly bigger?
Slightly in terms of length and width. It's the back section that seems like a much larger thing for sure. So,
Okay, so
but
it's
but
thicker.
inside it is thicker, but it's not. It's
Okay.
only slightly larger in the other aspects.
Yeah, I'll do that just to be safe. I'm gonna use my bonus action to go ahead and shift,
Okay.
just to heal myself a little bit and get some AC back.
Okay. You
So
can do that.
I think I click this, and that should be okay.
That's your temporary hit points for it, and
And
then
then I get that.
there's your AC bonus for it.
Awesome. So when that happens, the party notices my skin gets a bit darker, and also gets a little bit shinier, which is a bit weird to look at. The front part of my face also sort of balloons outward. My mustache gets bigger, and you see little hints of the two front teeth of mine emerging from my top lip, as I more closely now resemble a walrus. Yeah, and then I'm gonna. Thank you for doing that. I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, I'll reckless attack. We'll do that. So we'll do that,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's damage. We don't want to roll that yet. We want to attack her with. That should work. It does. Perfect.
Oh god.
I can't hit shit
Yeah.
today.
A 1 and a 4, so you take the 4.
Holy fuck.
And that's a 9, which unfortunately misses. Yeah, you swing and you just don't realize how much of the web you're still in, and you reel back, and then your weapon gets stuck, and you have to pull it
Stupid
out.
fucking water ghosts.
And when you pull it out, you still do the swing, but it's way shorter than you expected. It unfortunately doesn't go.
That's all I can. Fucking water ghosts.
So kind of seeing everything that's going on. Gonna roll a die to see. Okay. It kind of is looking at all the things and kind of just turns towards Olive, and you see its pincers go down towards you as it slightly rears back up again and goes towards you. Oof. That's a natural 20. I don't know why I've rolled it a second one.
Oh my lord.
Doing
So
great.
9 damage to Olive of piercing damage. And then she has to roll this Constitution save. Which that is a 6, so that does not succeed. So you take 10 poison damage. So you go unconscious. Okay, but you here's what's happening. You are stabled. You are stable, so no having to roll death saves. I'm adding that right now.
Great.
But you are poisoned And I'm just gonna. No one else knows really what's going on. You guys immediately see her rear back from that, and as the spiritual weapon hits it in the back, it falls down, but it immediately rears back up again and bites, and she doesn't realize her hand is still out there, and it immediately chomps down on it, and just you see this poisonous veins go up into her skin, and she just immediately falls backwards on the floor. That's the first spider's turn.
Man,
I don't
Session
know
one,
like, how it will
TPK.
sound on the thing, so I'm not gonna do it. But Bran just yells. He just like guttural yells.
Guttural yelling. That makes sense.
fainting in front of spiders. It's
That
you
makes
know,
sense.
it makes sense.
But the queen sees it being attacked, and a slight opportunity has arisen as it got stuck in its web. Attack Luth. Oh,
Fuck
but that
you,
that
spicy water
misses.
ghost.
Yeah, it didn't roll very well. Yeah, it does miss. Unfortunately, as it goes to bite, you had just pulled your weapon up, and you just basically stick it over the pincers and just go like this for a little bit until it backs off. Luckily enough, not. But Elfla, it's your turn. You just see
Is.
Olive go unconscious, and you see Luthgra is now wrestling with a spider.
Okay. I'm going to actually, instead of casting another spell, I'm just going to run there. Just in between the, just between Olive and Goodbrand.
Got it. So that's 15 feet. You just start getting into the little bit of the web that's on the ground right there, but you get there with 15.
And I'm going to attack it with my rapier.
Okay. You can do that for sure. I think 14 actually does hit. Are you attacking the first? Are you attacking the
yeah,
the only one you
attacking
could
the
attack
only one in
actually.
range.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
14
Rapier grows
barely
super
hits,
long.
so make sure you target it for the damage.
Yep. Okay. It is
Also-
targeted, or at least it should be.
For the people new to Fantasy Grounds, if you go to your sheet and it's on the thing that has the modifier, the damage, if you drag it over to the token of who you're trying to hit,
Yeah.
it also roll it in
Yeah,
case
if you
targeting is a bit weird.
if you drag any damage or attack to the token, it will just automatically attack that one.
Yep.
But if you're gonna attack the same thing like over and over again with multiple attacks, it's usually just.
Yeah, no, it is. That was more just in case like targeting is hard.
Yeah, you come over right as it just finishes biting. You see Olive falling, and you go quickly and run, and your feet get caught in the webbing for a second, but you pull out your rapier and stab towards it as it's reeling back, and luckily you just get it right in its thorax, and you just hear a as you see it start to collapse and get slightly stuck in its own web. That one is dead.
Yep. So that is. I've done most of my movement, but I won't move anymore. I've done my action, so I'm gonna cast Healing Word again as my bonus action to obviously Olive.
Okay.
So I've targeted Olive. Heal.
You were gonna say princess then.
All right.
I stopped myself.
So
There we go.
Olive,
4.
you are now awake, but strangely enough, as you wake up and you're laying on the ground, you realize that at the moment, you don't seem to be able to move. You are paralyzed
Oh no.
while you're poisoned.
Yay! Welcome to the club.
And you're still laying on the ground. So you guys see her wake up, but you don't see much movement in her body as she has woken up. Some of her wounds slightly healed, but something is still strange. So, with that being the case, that was your bonus action. So if you said you didn't want to move anymore, we'll go.
Yeah, I don't need to move anymore.
We will go to Olive. I mean, you are paralyzed. So I'm 90% sure you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I
Yeah, you're
don't
incapacitated.
think I can.
Cry.
I can definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Unfor-
She's
yeah.
not gonna
Crying's
cry.
a free action.
No, yeah. You unfortunately can't do anything on your turn.
Great.
Sorry. But it comes down to Goodbrand's turn. You see that Olive is slightly more out of danger. She seems conscious and awake, and the thing closest to her is dead, but she doesn't seem to be moving. What? Sorry?
She's alive though.
She is alive.
Like I can tell that she's alive.
She is alive. You can tell. There's
Okay.
enough there that you can tell.
Actually, I think no. He'd still need to do this. I'm gonna move here. And cast Lesser Restoration.
Okay. Does Lesser Restoration poison? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Poison-
assuming
Poison and well, it says one. You touch a creature and you can end either one disease or one condition afflicting it. It's
I
the
would-
poison that's making her paralyzed.
I would say
right?
just make a medicine check, just
Okay.
just to make sure you understand that. You're pretty certain. I'm pretty certain you would, but just in case you roll an
Well,
extra one or something.
I gotta tell you, my D20 is not.
Did you roll another?
It is
natural
definitely.
20?
Oh wow, no, never mind. My D20 is very certain that I know. No, I just mean my D20s roll terribly. So I was just expecting it to be very mean to me, but
See, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen the roll either.
Yeah, it might just take
Aw,
a minute to come
no.
up. What did you get?
17
17. Yeah, you
plus 4, so 21.
Yeah, you make the realization that probably whatever is affecting it is some kind of poison, and that is maybe it granting these additional effects. So you focus on the poison and releasing it, and that does release her from paralyzed as well. She's still prone on the ground, but you can see her starting to move a little bit more as you go down there and cast Greater Restoration on her.
Okay, cool.
But that-
And then I
yeah.
will bonus action swing at it with a sword.
with your
Well,
spiritual weapon.
it's a spectral mace, but yeah,
Sure, you can do that.
I gotta find it again. Hold on, there it
No,
is.
you're good. Yeah, I think your just internet is.
Yeah, my internet's real screwed up. Sorry, guys.
No, you're
It's all
fine.
good, man.
I can
Don't
just
worry
I can
about
just
it, man.
see it sometimes coming as you're not connected and then reconnecting. So
At least
Yeah.
you know it's not happening to you as the DM like it does for me. So
true, it did do
Yeah.
that a couple times for him.
Where did spiritual weapon go?
Should be under your level. Oh, it's at the very bottom of your sheet.
Yeah, all I can see is Shield of Faith for some reason. Oh, now it's nope. Okay.
Keep getting
No,
now,
I can...
now go all the way to the bottom.
Oh. Oh, weird. All right.
It's
Cool.
probably because you had marked off both your second level spell slots, and you have it in combat, so it
got it,
disappeared.
got it.
But since you still needed the roll, you need it. So
That's awful.
yeah.
But I'm going to use my D6 inspiration dice,
okay, you can do that.
and I don't think that hits.
So that's
but-
a 12 total. I don't think
Yeah.
that does not hit, unfortunately. You feel that bardic inspiration take hold, and you try to use it, but unfortunately, it just doesn't seem to be enough. As it just kind of swings wide as you're more focused on Olive at the moment, and just her.
definitely more focused on
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
You're just trying, but unfortunately, it did not work.
It wasn't inspiring enough.
You were not.
no, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right. So assuming that's your turn.
That is, yeah.
Artist, it's your turn. You're still feeling that pain, but you're
Oh wait,
now...
do I still have a little bit of movement? Because if so, I would
do.
move like here.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of have to squeeze between Olive and Silva.
Well,
but
she's
yeah.
on the ground.
Yeah. You still don't want to step on her.
Walk over her. Yeah.
Leap over her.
Okay,
Please.
I'll say you leap over her. and-
Man, I feel like that's the biggest form of
Disrespect.
I mean, she's a
disrespect.
princess, man.
Yeah,
Jeez.
stepping on a princess.
I'm not stepping. I'm getting in between the.
Some people are into that, but
It's true.
You're not wrong.
So, artists.
That knowledge was unnecessary in my brain, and now it's there.
And now it exists. Artists, you're muted.
And we can just build upon that knowledge more and more as the game progresses.
Yes.
Accurate.
So you're farther back now, but you're seeing that Olive, who had gotten down, now looks to be up and moving again, and Luthgraw seems to be engaged with it, including a floating spiritual sword in the distance.
Well, this spider needs an arrow in it. I'm going to sheath my rapier and fire my short bow.
Yep, sure you can do that. Or roll for your short bow attack. Short bow attack. Sherbert attack. Your Sherbert. Roll your Sherbert attack. That's definitely.
Hey!
So
Yeah.
make sure you click your sneak attack because you do still get it. Wait before you roll the dice, so all of those get doubled.
That was
Sneak
going to be my
attack
next
20.
question. Can you sneak attack?
Correct.
With a
Correct.
bow.
All dice get doubled, including the sneak attack.
All of your anger has just gone into the shot.
Oh, yeah, this shot is gonna be brutal. Ooh, that's a
Oh,
lot
man.
of numbers. That's a lot of
Oh,
big
man.
numbers.
Boom!
God,
So-
3, 4, 5, 6,
I love
6, and
rogues.
1 plus a 4. Yep. 29.
That's
Fight
crazy.
me.
The first damage dealt to this thing, but you go back and you reel that bow back using the stairs as kind of a little bit of leverage and just right where its thorax meets its back half, you see it slam right in, and you see this bluish blood kind of start to pour out for a minute before it freezes over, kind of covering the wound with the arrow still inside at the moment, and it seems to just not like it. You just hear as it kind of rears back as it does so. Not happy by any means.
So wait, it just didn't like 29 points of damage?
Wasn't a big fan.
I mean, it didn't take any
Would've
damage
preferred
before.
that.
It's only a little over
Alright,
half.
alright.
It's got an arrow allergy. That's all it is. It's fine.
An arrow allergy.
Yeah.
That's funny. But that is your action to do that. I don't know if you want to move or do anything else. It's up to you.
I'm comfortable with my spot. It's slightly elevated. Seems to be a good angle for me.
Yep.
Stick with it.
Alrighty then. Boothgrog.
I'm gonna fucking hit this thing.
Are
Are
you?
you
No.
gonna reckless? Are you gonna reckless?
Yeah, I'm gonna reckless attack again.
Go ahead.
Stupid giant water
Hey, it
ghost.
didn't hit
fucker.
you with advantage either. That does hit.
Ah, fucking finally! Holy
So
Christ!
roll
All
your
right,
damage.
and I got this.
Oh
this.
yeah, from your
This should roll both. There we go.
22. That's enough. Apparently the rogue and barbarian both decided to not be happy for one moment, and at once an arrow slicks in, and Luthgraw, seeing that it can bleed and gets excited, rears back his halberd and just slashes across where that frozen blood is and just routinely cuts it in half. You just see blue blood pool up on the ground before immediately freezing and becoming a pool of ice as just the two halves of it fold in on each other. And it is dead. So, with that being the case, you guys listen for a half second, expecting there to be another skitter, expecting there to be something else. All of you start to get up.
I
From-
help her up.
Yeah,
I
from
kinda
the prone
lift her.
position, multiple people start helping you up. But
As I'm
luckily,
helping her up, I cast a level 1 Cure Wounds.
sure, go ahead and do that. As you guys are all helping her get up and get her healed a little bit, as
Thank you.
you do, you start to listen to hear for more of that skittering, but it seems to have subsided. Doesn't seem to be anything else in the chamber from what you can see at the moment.
Water ghosts. Told you.
I don't know that it worked. I grabbed and I
It did.
dragged the
It
thing.
did.
Oh,
Yeah, it just did. It took a second just because I think of your connection.
It was real good, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it was real good. Luckily enough, Life Cleric
was, yeah.
is really boss, and you've seen Good do this before. He just touches his healing symbol, touches you on the shoulder, and just immediately all that icky poison and that one wound from the bite just disappears almost immediately, and you feel much better. Honestly, even better than you did this morning.
That was foolish.
I
You
feel
should not
bad
put
for
yourself in so much danger.
I mean, it worked out in the end. It is what my father would have done. It is what you have done.
While they're chatting, I'm staying alert and making sure that nothing comes up
Yeah.
upon them from behind.
Yeah, assuming you look around the people who want to during this lecture, you notice that there is a lot more webbing in the back. There are a few more wrapped up corpses, and upon opening them, they all seem to be corpses. But no more spiders, it seems like. It just seems like these seem to have maybe just made a nest, found a convenient spot to make a nest, and were protecting it.
Are
Well,
there
for
any
ghosts,
egg
they're kinda
sacs?
gooey.
Yeah, that's literally what I was just thinking. Egg sacs are my next search.
Doesn't seem like it. At the moment, nope. There does not seem to be any egg sats. It's only, they said the workers have only been disappearing for a couple days, so this is probably
Okay.
a very recent nest. Probably hasn't gotten the moment to got that far in it. That process is your guess by looking around and not seeing any of that. Just a lot of cold webbing that honestly is very slippery and annoying and sticky.
I don't think this place is related to the sailors.
Are you
Well,
sure?
no.
I agree.
Maybe they can swim. They're ghosts, right? So
Or
They're
they
not
came on an
ghosts,
ice
Wallace.
flow?
they're
I'm
gooey
getting my
ghosts,
ex-girlfriend.
but they're cold, they're sticky. That's
Spiders
sounds
are
like the
notorious for
aftermath.
being able to hold their breath. So, but I do have to agree with Goodbrand here. I doubt that these ice spiders were the culprits that were attacking the sailors and the fishers. This seems to be exclusively local to the storage facility.
that makes sense, I suppose.
It was just the injuries that seemed to bear a bit of striking resemblance. Because
The water would be too warm for the ice spiders, wouldn't it?
well, it's going to winter and there's ice flows and stuff already, so potentially.
I would say you do know that the ocean in this area between the two continents is a fair bit colder than most of the ocean of the rest of the world. There are little bits of ice that do sometimes float in it, especially in the wintertime. But generally, yes, it is probably too warm for these sorts of creatures. They like keeping their areas very cold, and a basement at the beginning of winter in this area, and their ability to kind of bring cold with them seemingly made it a perfect little nesting spot for them.
Over here.
To the misfortune of quite a few storage workers.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have anything of interest on them?
Nope.
I don't think
Really,
they have pockets.
there's tiny bits of coin, a few coppers and silver.
It's all slimy.
It's sticky. It's got, it's some of the clothing is like frozen, and you kind of have to even to look in the pockets, you kind of have to almost break it off in a strange way, but nothing of interest. You see a few tools and a few other things, and they're all in basic working clothes. They don't make much money, so
Don't eat that.
there's not much to find necessarily.
What if we took one and used it as bait for the water thing?
Spider bait.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't take an entire one. We could maybe chop off a leg or something.
Oh, you take
I
a big
don't
one.
I don't really want to carry a huge ice spider with us. Might attract some unwanted attention.
I was
What do you
thinking
mean
of
on what? What
taking
do
one
we
of
got
its
to run
front
across?
legs
Like
anyway.
spider sympathizers?
How are we going to carry a 10-foot spider?
I just want the leg. I just want the spiky bit
I'll
on the
take a
leg.
Oh, well, we
The
do
leg
this.
is fine.
I'm just gonna start breaking legs.
Are you wanting to secretly eat this
You,
spider?
you see Luthgraw put his foot on the head of one of the spiders and grab one of the arms, and almost like a wrestling move, just trying to like pin its leg, but also break it off at the same time. And it's
just-
taking a bit of time.
I'm gonna like fold the legs in, and then I'm gonna lift it.
Surprise
You're going to
spear.
lift it.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You gonna lift it?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Well, hang on, we don't have to dispose of a body. We were just told to find out what was going on
yeah,
here
but
and stop it.
I'm
Job
not.
done.
I'm
They
not
can
trying
clean
to.
it up.
I'm not
Where are
trying
we
to
gonna
clean.
store it?
What do you mean we're gonna store it? We attach it. All right. So here's what we do.
He's going to eat it.
I am not opposed to that idea of trying it. I've never had it before, but the main goal is we find a really big pole and rope. We tie this water spider ghost
Yeah.
to the
A
rope.
spit roast.
No.
Puppet show.
We tie it to the rope, take a boat out to where the sailors have been attacked, and dunk it in the water.
Oh, some nice water flavoring on it before you eat it.
We gotta cook it to eat it. I'm more thinking,
Steam it.
fish with it.
Steam it.
So you're telling us that we take this huge spider onto a boat.
Yeah.
We take this boat out to the place where no boats come back.
Yeah.
And we just chuck a spider in the water and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm glad I understand you, Luthgraw.
Can any of you
I'm
drive
glad
a
you do
boat?
too. I mean, it's.
Well, I mean, my father
how
was a
hard
fisher.
could it
I
be?
was taught how to row boats from a young age. So.
Well,
We're
No,
going to
look, I don't
He's got
agree
it.
with that plan.
He's got
I
it.
don't agree with that plan. I'm
That's not
saying
what I'm
I
hearing.
know
I'm
how to
hearing-
row a boat, but I
mean,
don't think
that's
it's a good
contributing to
idea.
the plan.
Rowing a
don't-
boat? We need a big boat for the 10-foot spider.
Well,
Well, I
no,
like
we
take a
can.
big
little
boats.
dinghy out there.
Cannot lie.
I mean, the smaller fishing boats, assuming there's not a huge crew, you could put a 10-foot spider on. Not arguing. I'm not. But if you guys took like a canoe, obviously you couldn't. But you wouldn't be able to get out in the middle of the bay with a canoe.
What
without
about
a
two
terrible-
canoes put together?
Oh,
Tie them across
yeah.
from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could certainly
use-
try.
You could tie the spider in the middle of it, and then you can walk on the spider.
We'll jump up
New
the middle.
spider boat.
Spider boat. Spider boat.
I knew it. Someone.
Why are we thinking this far into the plan of
Because it's
swimming
Because this is
Clearly-
a D&D game.
Clearly,
We
this
have
is a
to-
good
Our
plan.
inevitable demise.
Subconsciously, everyone agrees with my plan.
We will die.
Well,
Well, nobody's mentioned hollowing out the spider yet.
I have
oh.
never driven a spider
Oh.
boat, but I imagine it is something that I could pull off.
See, he
I mean-
gets it.
Look,
Two
I am
halflings
not.
in a spider suit.
We do not currently know what patrols the waters and what is causing these sailors to not come back. It might not even like spider. But I don't want to row this. I don't want to take any boat of any size, of any capacity, to a place where boats do not come back from until we are aware of why the boats do not come back.
Okay, so we take this
Oop.
spider with us and we use it to lure the unknown
The
boat.
gods look down
thing.
on that plan.
I don't. I think it's a great plan.
Let's take the
I don't know what
head.
you're talking about.
Just the head.
It's because it's small.
It's not small.
It's smallish.
While they're arguing, Mr. DM, I'm gonna take the very front, the last portion of the front leg of the big mother spider, just because I want that sharp, pointy
Yeah,
bit
And
that I
you know,
could mount on a spear or have fashioned into a weapon and
It is a-
enchanted.
it is a fairly good size. I would say it could be used for enchanting. Would you be able to make a spear out of it? You'd have to find a very skilled craftsman, because it is not that extremely sharp. But could potentially be used for an interesting thing for enchanting and stuff like that. That's a potential. But you do take it, and you can take it with you if you'd like. Yep. You strap it to your bag, as you do so.
I'm gonna start tying spider legs together.
I don't know. I'm still sticky. I could just sort of go.
I mean, we talked about
What is going
having a 2-half spider costume. You already have a spider in half. Just one person get in the back half, one person get in the front half.
Ugh.
Kidding.
Yeah, we've got 2, and then the 2 back legs, and then the other one does 2 and 2 back legs.
Okay. We could
And
be
then they
able
could be
to
like
do
Twister.
this. What reason would we have
There is no
for having a spider costume?
We're adventurers. What reason do we need?
You roll up on a bandit
Let's
camp.
just go about town in a spider costume, and then we probably won't be attacked.
We gotta seduce a bigger spider. What are you talking about? I'm just gonna take the smaller of the other two and start tying his
We are
legs
making
together.
with spiders now.
Look, it's late. We've had a long battle. Let's just
Go to
head back to
sleep.
the tavern.
Actually,
Let's
that
head back to
battle
the
was
tavern.
pretty short. That lasted less than a minute.
Look, it took a lot out of me, spiritually.
Been in a long battle, Scott.
I bled a lot.
I'm getting used to this whole adventuring thing. I'm not used to these fights.
Can I go
I'm mostly here to write
to?
songs.
Can I go to the other spider and try to cut it up and get its heart?
Sure. Just make a nature check. Why not? That
A
seems
nature check. Okay. All right.
to see how good you are at finding a heart of a. Okay, that's decent. It takes a fair bit of cutting. You do get rather messy. But eventually
the
you-
messier the better for a Viking princess.
Yes. So, but eventually you find a bluish, teal-colored, strange heart-like object that you believe to be the spider's heart.
Great. I am going to keep it as a trophy to show my father.
You can certainly do that.
It's gonna rot.
Yes, it is.
Or does it stay permacold?
It is
Yeah.
it is fairly cold at the moment, which might stave off its its particular rotting. We'll have to wait and see. It was it was not a high enough nature to know that.
I have to admit that I'm not
I
too
will
keen
show
on the
you how
idea
to
of
dry
having
that.
the smell of moldy heart traveling around with us
Well,
the whole time. But
If it
how that goes.
molds, I will feed it to my owl. He will love it. They have the stomach for that sort of thing.
Could I use my
Right.
survival skills to dry it?
Sure, roll survival.
I hand it over.
We're just messing about with spider
Nope.
corpses.
Oh,
at
nope,
this
fine.
point.
Not at all.
Nope. Yeah.
Not at all. Nope. Nope.
You tried to,
No.
but you realized most of the blood of it that Olive is now slightly covered in has now more frozen to the outside, so it almost looks like it's been just partially flash frozen. You
Yeah,
don't know
I
if it
can't
will
do anything
last
with
by
this.
any means, but it's definitely at least cold and frozen at the moment.
Well, it's winter outside. It'll keep for a bit longer. Just bury it outside your window. Snow on the sill.
Every night, bury it outside your window. Hopefully,
That
one
is
day you'll grow your
a-
own spider.
That's a good idea.
It's what I did when I was in Europe. I used to just put stuff on my windowsill. It was cheaper than electricity.
Where is this Europe you speak of?
What? What is
Sounds
Europe?
like a wonderful place.
We're not gonna go there. So does anybody want to take? How many more spider parts are we taking?
Am I
I'm
done
good with
tying
fun.
up that one spider's legs together?
Sure.
Yeah.
By this point, you have. Just
Alright,
like
yeah, I'm
just
just
like
gonna-
a hog-tied bull at the rodeo,
That was my thinking. Yeah.
wrapped all the way around. It now kind of looks like almost a giant warhammer.
Perfect. I'm gonna try to pick it up in that way.
Ugh, you gotta drag it a little bit, but you could certainly get it. It would take a little while, but you could move it around if you wanted to.
All right. I'm ready.
I'm personally going to miss out on the whole spider collection business.
Yeah, I don't need
I'll pass.
spider parts.
I'll pass. Actually, wait.
Surprised the road didn't try to get some of that poison.
That's what I was.
I would
was
say.
thinking about
I would say
for a second.
with how much they're bleeding out at the moment, and with how much cutting up and stuff has happened, you're not gonna get anything. Especially with Goodbrand, your survival check. No, I'm gonna count that and say nah.
Yeah,
They're cut up enough
Alright.
now, and you guys have been messing with them long enough. You could try, but you're not gonna get.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, then I think the spider collection business truly is done, and we can head back to the inn unless there's any other plans. I believed we were just heading back to.
No, we've
Here,
checked.
but if anyone has any-
we've checked for eggs. We've checked for any goodies that may have been left around.
We need to make sure that no one tries to claim our kid.
That's why I got the spider.
That's why we got evidence.
We do. We have evidence.
You do have evidence.
We're
Um,
leaving lots of
I think you
evidence
said it was a bad plan.
Okay. Did you
Other people could have evidence as well.
True. Does that mean you guys want to
You
try
don't-
to go to the law office right now? Tell them it's taken care of, or was that something you wanted to wait?
We
until-
can definitely stop by the law office to tell them it's if it's closed, it's closed. If it's still open, then we might as
It is
well
open
report
most
that
of
now.
the time. It will have like a more limited
Okay.
staff and only be available for like arrests and stuff like that if that ever comes up. But you could certainly go by and see, for sure. If so you could try to stop by and see, at least maybe claim it. They might not have a reward for you immediately, as those things
Oh, yeah,
sometimes
that's-
those things sometimes take a little time to process. But
But we can put our claim.
As we leave the site, I make sure that I lock it up properly behind us since I've got the key.
okay, you can do that. Good. What'd you say?
Oh, I just said that we can put our claim in.
Okay. So if that's what you want to do before either resting or figuring out your next step, you can go do that. It's a little bit of a walk, which is a little slower because you were dragging a giant spider through the streets, which gives a lot of people a lot of strange looks. Luckily, it looks dead, so no one is freaking out, but more people are like looking at it. But upon about an hour and a half, finally get over to the law office, and upon knocking and the door being unlocked and whoever wants to go in being let in, just to simplify it, there's only a couple people there, and you let them know that you had grabbed this earlier and you talked to the foreman and you had seemingly taken care of it, and they can check with them and everything like that, and you even show them your proof, and they're like, not extremely necessary. We'll talk with the foreman and make sure that worked out. But good to know that we had an infestation around that part. We'll hopefully keep an eye on it. Hopefully it hasn't developed any further. We'll get that processed. If you come by maybe tomorrow or the next day, we'll have your payment. Hopefully, assuming all is accurate.
Do we know how much the payment was?
I have it written. I would say, I think, if I remember correctly, it's 125 gold pieces. So assuming you split that amongst yourself, it's
Yeah,
about
that's
25.
fine.
That one is a little bit of one of the fisherman one is a little bit more, and the other two were.
Cool.
Did the other one mention what time people were going missing in that sort of area of the town?
Which one specifically? You're talking about?
You mentioned something about people disappearing. Not the. It was like in a different area of town or something. I don't remember.
No, that was them seeing a mysterious figure.
Oh,
and-
sorry,
and not
the
wanting
figure.
to leave. That's in the northern district.
Yeah, did they mention what time of day they saw that
They
figure?
said, well, people are scared of going out at night. So most of the sightings have been at night. There's been a couple that have been in the early morning or the later evening, but it seems to mostly be around the night
Okay.
time for that specific.
Ifla, when we get back to the inn, can you sing that song for me?
Sure.
That was a nervous, like, uh-oh.
I like big bugs that I cannot lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you want to do anything else before either heading back and maybe getting some rest, or?
I need to rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention that we probably should go after the figure tomorrow night.
Yes, I agree there.
Yeah, I mean, we can still do the fisherman thing during the day if y'all want, but the figure we'd have to do at night based upon the flyer.
Yeah, I think we're definitely probably a bit tired out tonight, but we definitely should go straight there tomorrow.
Yeah.
At the
So-
night we should go.
So tomorrow we rent a boat.
We will try and make some progress with the fisherman case, and then as things start to get a bit darker, we can try and make some headway on the shadowy figure case.
Yeah, because we may not need our own boat. We may be able to tag along with other fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
One of the small boats. And the small boats are the only ones that are getting attacked. We
Was it
will-
only small boats? I thought it was every boat.
No, it
Okay.
seems
Not fit-
as though mostly the fisherman boats, specifically smaller ones, seem to be the one that are getting attacked and go missing.
I am pretty sure we will need our own boat.
You can probably get one.
Okay.
Especially if they're not going out.
You can either try to procure one in some way, or there are people asking for protection on this, like crews are asking for protection, so you could go that route if that was something you guys were interested in. But you could do either.
Walrus could inflate the spider.
What do you mean inflated? It's not a balloon. It's a spider. I use it to fucking fish for the boat eater people.
Boat eater people. Very famous.
Inflating. Yeah, they ate the boats. That's
Okay.
why they're not coming back.
Homebrew monster boat eater people.
Too fascinated with wood there.
True.
We could do is if there's small boats, and if there's some are looking for protection, we could split up. I know that's generally not a great idea.
If we can fish the same area, we could be in close proximity.
Yeah, that was my thinking.
And to clarify, by what I mean as small boats is I mean boats that are a decent size that usually are about 10 or so crew members.
Okay.
You know, that half of them will sail and half of them will fish usually about. They're not attacking like large, like either like galleons or larger like shipment ships. So they're not necessarily like dinghies or anything or like 2-person cruise ships. There are those that go out, and a couple of those have gone missing, but there are smaller boats that are about, 6 to 10 crew members that have also had the same problem. So you could maybe find one of those.
Would we
and
all
tag
fit
along,
on one of those smaller ones?
depending on the size of the crew? Yeah.
Okay.
Depending on which one you found and the size of the crew, you could. But you would
We
have
could
to go
just-
looking for that.
Yeah, we'd have to do that in the morning anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So having this discussion as you guys are kind of going back, and arriving at the tavern, you have your rooms available, the 2 smaller ones and the 1 bigger one, split or amongst you see, getting that rest, which I will go ahead and hit the button on Fantasy Grounds to do so. So that all gets taken care of. Yes.
It's a good time for like a break.
Yes.
You can use the restroom.
Yes, we'll take a small break for a little bit, and then we'll continue for a little while. don't think we're gonna go too much longer, but yeah, we can go ahead and take a break.
If it's not, if it's gonna be like another, like how much longer? Because like I don't want to break it up if that's the case. But I've been like,
No, this would be a good time. Let's go ahead and do it now.
Okay, cool.
And then we're gonna go probably another hour, maybe hour and a half, and then we'll probably.
I
break
can
it off.
stick around for another hour, but
Up
I'm
to you
gonna
guys.
be up early for work.
Up
Yeah, I
to
was
you
gonna
guys.
say this actually might be a natural stopping time.
We could stop here.
Yeah.
So I
This
think
could
3
be a
hours
good
is a
natural stop.
good.
Yeah.
We're at a good stopping
it has
point.
been 3 hours, hasn't it? Holy
Yeah, it's
crap.
been
Yeah.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my
We've
God.
gone 7
I didn't
until
even look
10.
at the time.
so-
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't even look at the time.
Yep.
yeah. 3 hours is like perfect for me.
Flew by.
Well, no wonder I'm sitting here.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a perfectly
has-
good stopping point. I was just curious where
Yeah.
you guys.
3
were
hours is
going.
good time.
So upon kind of
I would
sleeping, we'll
keep
start
playing.
next time on the waking up and deciding which task you were looking at doing next, and maybe more things will come up
Perfect.
about either of those.
All right.
So I'm just gonna quickly just say, obviously, thank you guys for all joining me.
Oh, yeah.
we'll
Yeah, of
be-
course.
We'll
Thanks
be
for
back.
being a great
You'll-
DM.
Well, thank you.
Stop that. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Cats are fine. If you're watching this back on video on demand or YouTube or anything else, come catch us live on Tuesdays or whatever our schedule is. Currently, make sure to go check it out. It will always be updating those kinds of things. Check out these guys when they're streaming, and I stream other stuff as well every once in a while, depending on what my schedule is like. Just we'll be back fairly soon. Just 1 week away, luckily enough. So, bye.